KMOX News.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, hit it.
Chris Ranji, Amy, Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show.
You know who it is.
Also, if you didn't know, this is called the show.
On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Good morning, friends. You won't believe it. It's Monday.
I believe it.
It's Monday the 13th. Does that mean anything? Friday the 13th is bad. What is Monday the 13th?
Friday the 13th is like unlucky and scary. Monday the 13th is probably just
scary?
No, grim. It's a little grim. Yeah, a little sad.
Yeah, you know what? It is.
I know.
It's a little sad.
I was wondering why I felt kind of sad.
Because it's Monday the 13th?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
man.
not scary. It's not unlucky. It's just a little glum.
I think Friday the 13th is kind of fun.
Because, you know why? Because when we were kids, on Friday, they always acted like Friday the 13th was something pretty rare, but it happens all the time. I know.
Yeah.
Like most Fridays are the 13th at this point.
I think we ought to start celebrating Monday the 13th. That's the one that we should be afraid of from here on out.
It's a little glum.
I'm declaring it. The Chris and Amy Show no longer recognizes Friday the 13th. It is only Monday the 13th that we are afraid of from here on out.
We're not afraid. We're sad about it.
And I'm pretty terrified right now.
Really?
Yeah. 314-436-7900. Join us on the show. Calls and texts, voice messages. You know where to leave those, don't you? You ever heard of the Odyssey app? AUDACY. It's how you listen to the station live on your phone, and you can record messages and send them to us. If you want to watch us, do that too. The Chris and Amy Show and all of KMOX is streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Our Twitter account is @ChrisAmyKMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
An exchange today happening. Hamas has freed the remaining living hostages. Israel has also released some Hamas prisoners, and that is what has been happening today. So a huge development in that ongoing story.
Meanwhile, John O'Leary, his movie Soul on Fire had a pretty good opening weekend, bringing in $3 million. And John O'Leary, he's going to join us in studio at 9:30.
That movie did better this week than the Rock movie.
The Smashing Machine?
Yeah, the Smashing Machine. Blues beat Calgary over the weekend, so that was good. So they got their first win of the season. They play tonight. Also, Mizzou and Illinois both lost those college football games over the weekend. I think we kind of assumed that Illinois was probably going to lose in Champaign to the number 1 team in the country, and they did. It wasn't particularly close. Mizzou, they had a real opportunity against Alabama. They could have won that one. So that sucks
but
for
it
them.
Feels kind of Mizzou-y that they didn't. And I think that's why
Mizzou.
It does. And I think that's why people get kind of down on Mizzou. Like even when they were, 5-0 going into this game, whatever they were, undefeated going into this game. It's because when you have an opportunity to beat the big teams, they call them the blue blood teams.
The blue bloods.
Ranj.
Yeah.
When you have a chance to beat the blue blood teams, you got to do it. And Mizzou historically doesn't. And I think until they do, I think fans will have a little bit of this poo-poo attitude, even when they're undefeated.
I know. But
do you know what I mean? Like, it feels
still
Mizzou-y, and they were close. They had a chance.
Yeah.
They really had an opportunity, and it was womp, womp.
They made mistakes, though. And you know what, though? It's still, the program is still in a very good place.
It is.
It's especially compared to, what they've been. They're still in a good spot. I think we like for them to be in that playoff conversation. Now that the playoffs are expanding, they should more often be in the playoff conversation. I don't expect them to be a real national championship contender, but, just be in the playoff hunt.
Well,
I think that would be a good place for them. A good ceiling for them is to be a potential playoff team more often than not, which is still very, very good.
Yeah, and that's why, I'm not trying to belittle the program. It's the opposite. It's the fact that they're so good, but you have a little bit of this. You're not going to do it because you don't really have anything to hold on to in the past that they have. Will they beat a team like that soon? Sure, but that's why Alabama is Alabama. What is the saying that they have? Like, if we beat you, we're supposed to beat you. If you beat us, it's probably the biggest victory in your school's history. which is kind of like arrogant, obviously, but kind of true.
I wouldn't say that about this year's Alabama team because they're not.
But you get the point.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. That's like historically what Alabama,
Right.
that type of school has said.
Right.
Like, we're supposed to beat you. If you beat us, you're rushing the field. It's the biggest, which says a lot about the program.
Too much field rushing, by the way.
There is too much field
Way
rushing.
too much field and court
Do you know
rushing
where
in
those-
college athletics.
Do you know where those fines go? When, like, if Mizzou had rushed the field, if they had won and rushed the field, which they definitely would have, it would have cost them, I think,
100,000? Oh, is it
500,000. It's 400,000 to 500,000.
Okay.
Guess where that money goes?
Directly
to Alabama's NIL program, and I'm not joking.
Oh, so the
It
opposing
goes to
team
your
gets
opposing
it?
team. Yeah.
Well, I did not know
Yeah.
that. That's awesome, actually.
Will you Google this and double check? Because
Yeah, all right, where did you hear this?
I don't know,
I've not.
because I was like so certain this is true.
I'm
and
not saying it isn't. I just don't know that I've not heard that before.
all of a sudden you looked at me.
You might be right.
I'm not
I don't know.
used to telling you sports things you don't know.
I
and
thought
when
it went. I thought it went to the NCAA.
So did I, but I
and
want to
then
say it goes to the opposing
Some
program.
of it's a charity, maybe, but
We're gonna-
because we know how charitable the NCAA is,
yes.
right?
At
So-
any rate, I literally said that. You guys would not believe the amount of confidence I had when I said that, and now all of a sudden I'm doubting all of it.
So
I just on a dime.
we're asking our lead researcher Matt Pajeski to look into this because I had not heard that before, and that could be it could totally be a failure on my part that I just don't know it.
Or I could have just
Made it up. I hope you made it up because then I would like to know where the hell you got it.
And why was I so confident?
I don't know.
So when Vanderbilt rushed the field after they defeated Alabama, they were fined $100,000 per SEC policy. That money went to Alabama.
Okay.
There you go.
Good job, Amy.
Okay. Whew. Because all of a sudden, I don't know why. Like, I was, you guys, like, I would have bet my life savings and my own life on the truth of that fact. But the moment I looked up and made eye contact with Ranj,
I just
all of a sudden I
look.
thought, wow, I have no idea why.
Dude, that's on me. That's on me. That's a thing I didn't know. I just
Okay.
knew they got fined. I thought it was closer to the 100,000. I
But
didn't
that
think
was
it was
100,000 per SEC fine. So I think there were multiple, because I know that it got above 100,000 at
Okay.
times. At any rate,
Yeah, just don't rush the field.
Don't do
I
it.
think that people have been doing it way too much, and
Mhm.
it's all Sports Center's fault because this is when it
Yep.
started. When Sports Center was a much bigger deal, and it's still it's still a show, but it's not like the Dan Patrick, Rich Eisen days. When that was the only way to get sports highlights.
Mhm.
Now you can get them on YouTube, TikTok. It's highlights are very accessible. So shows like Sports Center are not as big of a deal as they used to be, but people see themselves or they see other students rushing the court after a big
Yeah.
win. And so like, I want to do that. I want to be on TV because they're going to put that on TV. Let's do it. So then everybody
Yeah.
does it. And sometimes, not sometimes, way too often they do it for games that are not that big of a
Yeah.
deal. It's not like, like number 200 beats the number 1 team in the country on their
yeah.
on their home court and then gets to rush the court. That's one thing, but
And
know.
here's the thing. It's when you think about it and you've got fans, probably a ton of them have been drinking. Most, if not all of them have been drinking. They're young people. So you throw in the carelessness and the enthusiasm of youth, throw them on a field with a bunch of football players. Sometimes the opposing team is still out there. You got 200, 300-pound guys. They're in full equipment. Don't you think it's a massive liability to have fans?
Well, that's
and
why they don't
media?
want it,
And
yeah.
that's what I mean. The fact that we've been not okay with it, but I mean, I've never been worried when I see it. The first few times that like you said years ago, it's kind of exciting. You think what a thrill for the students. But as it's become more frequent, it is a huge liability.
it just
Nothing good can come from it.
it annoys me when it happens with like conference games. So like you beat a team in your conference, that's not that big of a deal. It's in your conference, If it's a team that you had not beaten in like 50 years, I guess, okay, maybe you can do that. But otherwise, let's chill out, people. It's not that big of a deal.
Speaking of chilling out,
The
But-
Cubs, because the Brewers moved on.
oh
The
no,
Brewers are on to the NLCS, by
do
the
you
way.
believe in them yet? No,
No,
he
I
doesn't.
don't think this is the year for
I don't
them.
think
I just
this is-
don't.
I don't think they're that good.
How do the Brewers in like June? I said they were terrible and done. They're in the NLCS.
This might be the wrongest you've ever
Oh
been.
God, so wrong.
Like, you're
So wrong.
usually wrong, but this is so flagrantly, offensively wrong.
I am angered.
Yeah.
I am angered that the Brewers
Yeah.
are on to the NLCS. I can't believe
It's
it.
unbelievable. Well, I was going to
Because
say,
at the time, the Cardinals were ahead of them in the standings.
how the turntables,
They
really.
they have.
Hey, when I was saying about chilling out, what did you think of the fisticuffs at the end of the Chiefs game?
Yeah, what the hell's going on there?
I think, you know what they call it? Tensions boil over.
Tensions did boil over, and Dan Campbell addressed it and said that is unacceptable from my players.
Yeah.
So good for him. That's your head coach. He's going to go bite the kneecaps of his own team.
Safety Brian Branch for the
Yes,
Lions.
went up and
Delivered a right hook to Juju Smith-Schuster.
I always think I love when football players punch another guy in the helmet. It's my favorite.
So that was why.
It's just really great.
So I played women's ice hockey, and you have to wear not just obviously you have your helmet, but your full face mask, right?
Mhm.
And so when there were bench clearing brawls in women's ice hockey, which there were, you keep your gloves on and you just like punch the helmet of another
See
player.
that I don't.
Doesn't
I
really
was
go.
there
Nothing
was
really happens.
who was the hockey fight over the weekend? The 6'9" guy. He's like
Oh,
it was
I missed this.
almost as soon as the game started. He fought somebody else. He's a really big hockey
Mhm.
player, and he won his fight. I think it was his first fight in the league. He's a new guy, and I was just watching the fight, thinking, how many of these punches just hit the helmet? They don't hit the
Most
face
of
all the
them.
time.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Well, Garland, watching on YouTube, said, Amy, did you ever get in a hockey fight? Funny that you ask. So when I was in the Brentwood Men's League, and I was on an all women's team in the Brentwood Men's League because enough girls had grown up and graduated from college and so forth that we actually had a pretty competitive team and very skilled, but just physically we were smaller. And it's always a very interesting combination. We have a women's team and a men's league, and some teams, like some of the men's teams, wouldn't play hard enough because they're like, oh, we're playing girls. And some of them would play too hard. One of my friends scored a goal and a guy slashed her over the wrist, broke her hand.
Oh my God.
Right after she scored. Yeah. I mean, because they were pissed, right? They
Yeah.
were mad. And so anyway, one time our team, we did it. Like the girls were checking and cross-checking, and the guys were like mad. So I guess one of the guys shoved the girl down. So it was a bench clearing brawl between the women's team and the men's team.
Nice.
And the women were throwing punches, literally throwing punches with their gloves on.
Right.
And the men, to their credit, did not punch the women back, but they would either because they were so much bigger, because there's a difference in biology. And
Okay,
the men,
let's just
men,
tell the story.
Well, because it just really shows up. Our team was
Well, in
technically
hockey,
more
yeah.
skilled. Our team was more skilled than they were. And the only reason we weren't in the higher level is because we weren't big enough.
Yeah.
So they would bear hug, to keep the women from punching.
And did they say you need to calm down?
Probably. And then
Did
they would
but
they would bear hug, and then they would shoving down sounds really rude, but they would bear hug and then just shove down.
Did
They weren't even trying, and the girls were throwing punches. And so I'm watching this bench clearing brawl. I'm watching 20 fights happen at once. And I looked at my defenseman, and she's like, I'm like, I'm leaving. I skated off the ice. I was undressed and walking to my car.
I think it'd be a really funny hockey fight. It's just instead of punching the other women on the other team, you're grabbing them and you're saying you're being hysterical
You're
right
being
now.
hysterical.
Why are you overreacting? You need to calm down.
I've had to say that to a few guys in my life.
Relax.
Yeah, you're fine. I had to say that to quite a few guys.
Bill
in my life.
O'Reilly is going to join the show today. Bill O'Reilly has a town hall with Chris Cuomo and Stephen A. Smith coming up. So we're going to talk to Bill O'Reilly at 9:30. John O'Leary, as Amy mentioned, the subject of Soul on Fire, the movie that opened nationwide over the weekend. He's with us at 9:45. Andrew Egger will talk some politics with us at 11 o'clock, and we're glad you're with us. We're also glad that Krentz Financial Group is with us here on the Chris and Amy Show. Todd Krentz, Justin Brown, and Kyle Busch. And at Krentz Financial for over 6 decades, Krentz has been helping families and businesses plan for the future here in St. Louis.
Yeah, I think when you look at your life and everything that's going on, you're probably busy enough with your day-to-day obligations with its work, kids, just keeping the house running, it can be overwhelming when you do have a big life change. Like maybe you are going through a divorce. You're dealing with just the grief of losing a loved one, but then having to deal with all the logistics that goes with that. Maybe you've gotten an inheritance. It can be overwhelming. And Krentz Financial, they provide you resources, they provide you guidance and long-standing support. That's huge. That's a game changer.
Let's say you got a business that you're going to sell right now and you're looking for a strategy to do it because you need to be focused on your legacy. Well, Krentz Financial can coordinate with your attorney and your CPA, make sure everything is in line for you. Or let's say you've had a job and you've left that and moved to a new one. You got a 401k that is with your last job. Krentz Financial is going to help you figure out what to do with that because you don't want to just let it sit there.
Yeah. So learn more. Visit them now at kfgadvisors.com. That's kfgadvisors.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Krantz Financial Group is not a broker-dealer.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, this is Jill Schlesinger, CBS News business analyst, certified financial planner, and the host of the Jill on Money podcast. This is the show where your money is not scary. It's a show that's all about you. It's your questions that make it possible for me to provide unconventional and entertaining insights on your money, and more importantly, on your life. Listen and follow Jill on Money on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
Looks like we are definitely out of the massive heat waves that we received this year. But any week when it's 90 degrees during the day and 90 degrees at night is in St. Louis, the humidity is not comfortable and our bills do go up. With that being said, we're coming up in the winter months and this is the time that you want to get your furnace looked at and checked. It's inexpensive to have it looked at for your peace of mind. And this is also the time of the year where you'll hear during your furnace checkups that you have a bad heat exchanger or you need a new furnace. Call me if you hear that for a second opinion. You'll be happy you did. And it's one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, Bart Inman. Now that is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. And God bless.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. That's right, weight loss seminar at the Marriott St. Louis West in St. Louis at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Stronger than ever.
So I was visiting with my mom and sister on Saturday, and you know how you get news alerts on your phone, and I got the alert that Diane Keaton had died. And I feel like I had just seen her on either a daytime talk show or an evening night show, and maybe it had been several months and I didn't realize it, but so sad. I love Diane Keaton. She is, which is probably not surprising to you guys, like one of my style, fashion, attitude icons. She's just so awesome. Such a so unique. Her style was so quirky, and Chris Myhill always used to like call me Annie Hall because of the shirts and the ties and the trousers and everything. But in so many movies, if you go through the list of all the movies she was in, do you remember the movie Baby Boom, where she's like the working mom and she has this baby that she's got to take care of?
So it's from the 80s.
Yeah.
I remember.
I think that was the first. I think that was the first Diane Keaton movie I saw.
Okay.
1987.
All right. I do remember it. The one that I remember most is Father of the Bride.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that one a bunch, and that one's really good. And you know how I haven't seen The Godfather?
Yes.
You know that whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in that.
I know. I always forget that, honestly.
I know, man. I don't know. I feel pretty bad about it. But yeah, she's that's one of those we've had a few of those, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
This year where it's like, oh, somebody dies and you think, oh man, because you have those actors, celebrities, whatever, that you just kind of assume are going to be around forever.
Yeah.
Even if you don't see them in anything, you just know they're there. There's a comfort to it. And she is one of those for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. And some more information is coming out, although it's like, I don't know. You know how friends or sources close to friends start leaking information to magazines like Parade and Men's Journal, where, I mean, I'm sure they're fine, but they did say that she had declined rapidly in the past few months, and someone saw her and said she lost a lot of weight, but also she lost her home in the LA fires and had been spending months, moving stuff out of that area. And I'm sure that whole ordeal was stressful. I don't know if she was, sick with something, but very, very sad that she passed away, 79 years old.
When we come back, we are going to talk to a conservative political commentator. You may have heard of him before. His name is Bill O'Reilly. He was a star on Fox News for a very long time. He's the host of No Spin News, and he is going to have a town hall with Chris Cuomo and Stephen A. Smith. That is coming up. When we come back, we will talk to Bill O'Reilly here on Chris and Amy on 104.1 FM KMOX.
From Cardinals Nation to Chiefs Kingdom, from the Zoo to Enterprise Center, St. Louis turns to the Gas House Gang for the biggest stories in sports.
The Gas House Gang on KMOX.
It's must-listen radio at noon, hosted by Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranji, Mike Claiborne, and Bernie Nicholas. Four of the most informed and trusted voices in St. Louis sports. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon on 104.1 FM at 11:20 a.m. KMOX.
This is Tom Becker with Climate Masters. We don't just sell air conditioners, we sell comfort. We sell solutions. We sell a job well done, and we fix bad jobs. Climate Masters, because you need someone you can trust. Someone who earns your respect and 5-star reviews. Climate Masters, selling high-quality Carrier air conditioners. Turn to the experts. Climate Masters, quality work for over 40 years. Just type in Climate Masters and give us a call.
Hi, Stacy with Fairwinds Rivers Edge Senior Living in St. Charles. Are you a senior seeking a fun retirement? Do you want less work and more play? Do you want to enjoy great food that you don't have to cook? Then I know. Stop what you're doing right now and call Fairwinds. Set up a time to visit and have a meal. Meet some of our awesome residents. Check us out online at fairwindsriversedge.com. We hope to talk with you soon.
I met my wife in law school at the University of Florida. She was from upstate New York and I was from Kentucky. We met at a daily mass at St. Augustine's. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. After communion, I followed her out of the church and got her phone number. The rest is history. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Little did we know that one day we would have 4 children and the largest injury firm in the world. All 4 work in the business. It's a family business. Did I ever see this coming? Hell no. We just worked very hard and treated our clients like we would want to be treated, like family. It's a full-service injury firm, auto accidents, medical malpractice, workers' compensation, Social Security, and insurance disputes. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit forthepeople.com and we can get to work on your case. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently, it is 66 degrees, a high today of 77. There may be a shower in places. We don't know. It does not matter. Could be. Otherwise, warm with some sun, turning cloudy, a low of 59.
This report is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
This is the gateway for those who seek more.
This is about me and my legacy.
A vision of greatness yet to come.
I will not rest until I have taken everything.
Step through this gateway and live this wrestle dream. An AEW pay-per-view event. Live Saturday, October 18th from Chaffetz Arena in St. Louis. Tickets on sale now at AEWTIX.com.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
The countdown to kickoff starts here. Friday's focus on Mizzou, the Chiefs, and the NFL. Only on KMOX.
KMOX proudly supports the Musial Awards, returning to Stiefel Theater Saturday, November 22nd. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event, hosted right here in St. Louis. Named for Stan the Man, the show celebrates the year's greatest moments of sportsmanship and those who embody class and character. Experience the extraordinary moments and people that make the Musial Awards an event like no other. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe.
Chris and Amy on 104.1 FM KMOX on this Monday. We appreciate you being with us today. Coming up October 15th, which is Wednesday here at 7 o'clock, it is called The Town Hall, and it will air on News Nation. And a part of that will be Chris Cuomo, Stephen A. Smith, and our next guest, Bill O'Reilly, is going to be joining us in just a few moments. You might know Bill O'Reilly. I know this much. If my grandmother was still around, she'd be very, very happy. We'd be talking to Bill here in just a couple of moments, Amy. This is somebody who's a conservative star and was a very big deal on Fox News. Kind of an anchor there for a long time. I don't mean news anchor. I mean just a pillar,
yes.
A foundation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then a lot of people followed his Killing series, like Killing Kennedy, the nonfiction series.
And now we are joined by Bill O'Reilly, who is with us now. He is the host of No Spin News. It is a podcast on the First TV, News Nation contributor, and author of the book Confronting Evil. Bill O'Reilly is with us on KMOX. Good morning, Bill.
Hey, Chris, Amy, how you guys doing?
Hey, we are doing great and looking forward to the town hall here on Wednesday with Stephen A. Smith and Chris Cuomo.
Yeah, I wish I were in St. Louis and you would have to be there instead of me with those two pinheads.
Yeah, but you've got all the stuff to say.
Are you going to call them pinheads during the event?
That'll be the least of it,
okay.
Chris. I'm going to try to contain myself, but after listening to those two for 10 minutes, I mean, you want to go out and jump in the river. I'll float down to Memphis. But anyway, I mean, I'm going tomorrow to D.C. I got to be in the White House tomorrow afternoon for this Charlie Kirk Medal of Freedom ceremony. I'll talk to the president a little bit, and then we'll load up on the News Nation 3 American special, which is 8 to 10 Eastern time. So that would be 7 to 9 your time out in St. Louis. And, you know, I'll promote Confronting Evil, #1. That's my 20th #1 bestseller on the New York Times list. So very happy about that. And I'll school the boys, and, you know, we'll have a rollicking good time, as they say.
Well, and people know your name, know your books. They are the #1 best-selling narrative history series in the world, your Killing series of narrative nonfiction. Now you have a Confronting series. And I do want to get into the subjects of your book, Confronting Evil. But before I do, just stepping back, why did you feel feel motivated to write the book Confronting Evil at this time, looking at evil at this moment?
Well, because these books take a year to research and write. So this time last year, we're looking around for a topic because we had Confronting the Presidents, which was an enormous success. So whenever you have that kind of a success, you have to follow it up with something that's, you know, kind of sensational. And I noticed that in the United States and around the world, there was a rising acceptance of evil behavior. St. Louis is a good example. So I've been going to your town, I don't know, 40 years. I got a friend, Zipper Zeppa. Yeah, you may know him, the sportscaster.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I know St. Louis pretty well. And it used to be that you go downtown to a Cardinals game, you go out to dinner, you can, you know, they have a nice downtown area. And now people are afraid, generally speaking, because of the street crime. And the street crime has risen because of very, very left-wing prosecutors and people who do not want to enforce the law. That is enabling evil. And it's not just happening in St. Louis. The Chicago National Guard, the Portland, Oregon thing. I'm in New York. It's a mess here. And I said, you know, this did not used to be. It used to be that if a criminal committed a crime, that everybody wanted that criminal punished, but not any longer. So what the deuce happened? And so therefore I decided to write about evil and then demonstrate to the reader that if you don't stop it early, if you don't confront evil early, and this could be in your home or your neighborhood, it's going to grow and get worse.
I will give a quick update. Kim Gardner, our circuit attorney, not a good circuit attorney, but we do have a new one, Gabe Gore, which he has pulled the office back together. So that's a good update if you do come to St. Louis, new circuit attorney Gabe Gore.
I'm not besmirching St. Louis.
Yeah.
But the new DA has got to deal with judges.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And 20 years ago, the judges sitting in Missouri were a lot different than the judges sitting there now.
You know,
so I'm hoping that this will reverse itself, and St. Louis is a good test area because it's not overwhelming like New York, Chicago, LA, where it's just crazy. That you guys could do it if there's the will, but the judges have to, you know, it's not just the DA, it's the judges have to cooperate as well.
It's interesting that you say confronting evil early as well, which is a really interesting point because a lot of times, and some of the leaders that you mention in your book, like a Hitler, like Putin, they get too strong of a foothold before the good come to fight back or to do something. And you focused especially on Putin. And what can you tell us about him, how you wrote about him in your book?
Well, Putin is the biggest threat to the world right now. And it's fascinating because when I was at Yankee Stadium with President Trump on 9/11, I don't know whether you guys saw that or not, but the game, and then there was a big ceremony honoring the families of the deceased in the terror attack. I brought the president my book, which had only been out 2 days. We came out September 9th. And I gave it to him. I said, look, I know you're busy, Mr. President, but read the chapter on Putin. I mean, this guy has changed a lot since you had to deal with him in your first term. He's not the same man. He's a psychopath now. And so I gave him the book, and then about 24 hours later, the president texted me and went, whoa. And I said, yeah. And this is going to be a very vexing problem for the United States and you. My job as a journalist / historian is to tell the truth. And I do that. That's why we're so successful. And thank you for pointing out that we're number one in the world now as far as nonfiction books are sold. But when I get into those precincts where I do have some influence, I can't come across as some maniac. I have to be very methodical in the way I do things. And so I have confidence that the president now sees Putin in a different light than he did just a year ago.
So, I mean, for me, the question is, how did he not know until he read the chapter in your book? Seems like that's a thing that the rest of us recognized.
That's an excellent question, Chris. But it's very confusing. On the phone, and that's how Trump and Putin communicate mostly, Putin comes across as rational. Oh, yeah, we'll work it out. Yeah, no, we'll cut back the violence. No, this is just, we have to do it for our whatever. And it's a very respectful conversation between the president and Putin. But then Putin goes out and then kills kids, bombs hospitals the next day. You saw it happen in Alaska. And that's the part that I think the president wasn't anticipating. But now he knows. So then to me, that says there aren't enough good people around him that will advise him better. Does that not say that to you? No, because it's a complicated situation. When I was in Beijing in May, and I don't know how much you guys follow the No Spin News or what I do, but I went to Beijing at the request of the Chinese government. Now, I had to debrief the president of the United States, and I told the government, listen, if I come over there for your seminar, it was basically a Q&A with me, because they watch me on YouTube, the Chinese government, and they know I have access to President Trump. I said, I'm going to have to debrief the president about what goes on here for 3 hours. And they were okay with it. But it's a very complicated dance. Now we get Trump saying things about Xi on Friday. Well, I can guarantee you that tone will change this week because that's the way it goes. But with Putin, the Chinese don't want to blow up the world. Putin, with his back against the wall, he might.
When I was on the air back in 2019, when Trump rather controversially tweeted a congratulations to President Xi and the Chinese people on the 70th anniversary of the People's Republic of China and the Great Leap Forward. And you write about Communist China's Mao Zedong and the Great Leap Forward and how it was brutal and tens of millions of people were tortured, killed, purposely starved to death. And I was pretty upset that the president of the United States, would tweet a congratulations. Is that something you've talked to the president about? No, I don't get involved with that kind of stuff. When the president asks me my opinion, I give it to him unfettered. But I don't intrude and say, hey, you might, rethink what happened in China. The main thing is that Donald Trump wants to get a deal that benefits the United States and the world, just like he got in the Middle East. To bring up old historical atrocities, even though they're valid, does not advance the cause of a new deal. And so that's where he is. He lives in the moment. Now, my job is different from his job. My job is to school everybody into what these guys did,
how they got power and who they are now. When I went to Beijing, Amy, there were pictures of Mao Zedong everywhere. Everywhere. You imagine if an American killed 20 million Americans? You think his picture'd be up every place? But the Chinese people live in a fog. They don't get any information. They don't get any history. They don't know what happened. All they hear is Mao's the greatest guy. It's a police state. And so you've got to be a realistic person. And what do you want to accomplish here? And what Trump wants to accomplish is to calm everything down, to make good deals for the USA. And, you know, I'm not going to second guess that unless he does something that I feel is seriously wrong. I mean, I think he handled this Middle East thing pretty damn well.
We're talking to Bill O'Reilly here on KMOX, and in the time you've left Fox News, which was 2017, so it's been a little bit of time here. It seems to me, and you know, we just joked about you calling, you know, your political opponents, you know, the people you debate with pinheads, which is, you know, it's a funny term. It seems to me that politics, the discourse has worsened significantly since then. Where there's a lack of respect from, and I would say from both sides here. Do you agree with that? Do you believe that our discourse is worse than it used to be? And if so, how do we return to when it was better?
Well, you're never going to return because the business changed, the television news business, and to some extent radio. But radio has always been a little bit more volcanic than television. But there used to be, when I first started at Fox in 1996, 29 years ago, there was no mandate from the people who ran the organization to hurt the other side or people you disagree with. Now there is. So when you watch these news agencies, they're now in business to tear apart their opposition. When I did the O'Reilly Factor, my orders to my producers were find the smartest people you can find in this country who oppose whatever position I'm taking. So we'll have a robust, fun debate. The smartest person wins. And unfortunately, I won all the debates.
That's incredible.
But that was my mandate. I wasn't trying to tear Barack Obama apart or anything like that. That was not part of the equation. In fact, in the big controversy that got involved with Barney Frank and things like that, I'd always get a call from my boss and did you have to be so tough on him? And sometimes I'd have to say, yeah, I did. But that was the tone. Now the tone is we can get viewers if you decapitate them. So we hate Trump and that's our model. MS and CNN, that's their model. They hate Trump. Hate him. When Obama was president for 8 years, there were people at Fox News who did not like Obama. But there wasn't a mandate to hurt him. I did 3 interviews with him. I had a decent relationship with him. So it's changed, and it's changed because it's easy money. You can make a lot of money hating people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that exists for all the networks, Fox News included. Hey, we appreciate you being on the show. On Wednesday, we are looking forward to the town hall, 7 o'clock. It'll be on News Nation. Bill O'Reilly, our guest here, along with Chris Cuomo and Stephen A. Smith. Thank you so much, Bill O'Reilly, for joining us today.
Okay, guys. And it's also going to be simulcast on the CW network.
Excellent.
So if you don't have cable News Nation, you can watch it on broadcast TV. It's going to be a big deal. So we wish you guys the best. Thank you for having me in.
Thank you, Bill
Awesome.
O'Reilly.
Thank you.
He got the last word. That is Bill O'Reilly. When we come back, we are going to talk to John O'Leary. He is the subject of Soul on Fire, the movie that just opened nationwide over the weekend. Had a pretty good weekend as well. John O'Leary is next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State. New Missouri customers can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. And when we go live, place just a $5 bet to unlock $300 in bonus bets. Starting November 17th, you can create your DraftKings Sportsbook account in Missouri and get ready for launch day on December 1st. DraftKings Sportsbook brings you everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared. $50,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Hey guys, this is Kevin Wheeler, and let me ask you something. What if you could be 20 pounds lighter by Christmas? Well, that's what people are seeing with the $25,000 Operation Transformation Challenge from Supplement Superstores. It's 8 weeks, it's free, and it's happening right now. So don't sit back while everyone else gains weight this holiday season. This is your chance to get ahead. So when you join, you get everything you need to crush it. Custom meal and workout plans made for you, diet-friendly recipes, including for the holidays, weekly progress scans and accountability, access to S2's private Facebook community, weekly prizes and giveaways, 24/7 support from real trainers and nutrition experts. And here's the best part. The top transformation wins $10,000, and the new partner division where you sign up with a friend takes home $15,000. I already joined to keep myself on track through the holidays, and trust me, you don't want to wait until January to start. Spots are filling fast and signups close soon, so join Operation Transformation today at supplementsuperstores.com or stop by your local S2 before it's too late.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour. So the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/25. Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Chris Ranchi, Amy Martzgors, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
This past weekend was the opening weekend nationwide for Soul on Fire. And if you remember, a little over a week ago, in our partnership with Jerry Kelly, heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical, we had our little opening night at the Ronnie Cinema, and it was a lot of fun there. We've got with us in studio John O'Leary, who is the subject of the film. Soul on Fire did very well over the weekend. It came in front of The Rock's movie.
Yeah.
So you beat The Rock this past weekend.
That's what we expected. We're going to beat The Rock again this coming week too, Chris.
Yeah. He never loses until it was to you.
That's right.
So there you go. You must be satisfied with the way things have gone in that opening weekend.
So it's the number 5 movie in the country right now. It's in front of The Rock. So that is significant. More than the numbers, though, it's the response. It has a 98% rating right now by the audience. So the number one rated movie in the country last weekend wasn't Tron. It wasn't The Rock. It wasn't some horror movie. It was this incredible story celebrating the best of St. Louis.
Why do you think people have responded that way? Were you expecting people to respond that way?
What I wasn't expecting was for kids to respond this way. I knew that middle-aged folks would fall in love with this film. I just knew it. I knew that grandparents would take their kids and they would love it. But I did not expect at Ronnie's, you'd see 7-year-olds coming out crying. That at DePere, you'd see kids weeping. I was in Greenville, South Carolina, and these kids come out as part of a field trip, and they were just so moved. I think what they're experiencing is a story of heroes in a world that rarely shows them well. And if they do show them well, they're wearing tights and a cape. And our version of heroes are like siblings and parents and college roommates and just ordinary folks who show up, do the right thing in real life. And in doing so, change the life of another human being. And that's an invitation, not just to watch it on some screen, but to model it in your life.
So your book, On Fire, is about what you went through, the accident that you had with the severe burns and nearly dying from it, and then surviving this terrible accident, and what you've gone on to do since then. The movie is based on that. Did it go, and does the film do justice to the book in your life, do you think?
I'll put it to you this way. My team used to be concerned what would happen to John O'Leary if he calls in sick for good. And now they realize they'll just call Joel Courtney, who plays me in the film, and they're better off. He's a better looking, more athletic version of me. So the film is spot on. They shot the scenes where it happened. My mom and dad lived in DePere. That's where the shots of the fire were shot. I went to St. Louis University. That's where they shot those scenes. I'm the Mercy ambassador right now. So I have the honor of being the ambassador for Mercy Hospital System. Like, what a joy to be part of that ministry. Well, they shot the scenes there on location. And then the Shrine of St. Joseph, right in the shadows of KMOX, are where they shot the scenes of John getting married. So to see the film shot on location where it happened with people who did a phenomenal job using the exact words that were spoken decades earlier, it's overwhelming. It's a great film.
You know, John, and people go through really, really hard things in life. And I always think it's so important to bear witness to someone's injustice or bear witness to their suffering. But then you can't park there.
Right.
You can't park in the hardship and make that, I guess, what limits you. And you did the exact opposite. I mean, I went through a horrific tragedy, but you were able to persevere through that. I do think there's a big need for that. I think we're kind of in a parking stage culturally.
Yeah.
People are parking in the hardship.
So, Amy, when we created this film, I wanted to make sure the only person who was not a hero was John O'Leary. And they did a pretty doggone good job of making him a fool.
Well, that's harsh.
But it wasn't that hard. It's just the truth will set you free. But then your part about the parking lot is, so then what do the others do? And there's a story that happened in my life that takes place in the film of a little girl going back into a burning house for water 3 different times. There's a story of a radio announcer who once resided down here at KMOX named Jack Buck, who was told the kid he just visited was going to die. And instead of just saying, well, that's too bad, I did my part, he comes back the following day and the following day and the following day and beyond. So the whole story is an example of heroes, not just parking or saying hashtag thoughts and prayers, but grabbing the hand of a little kid, eventually a young man, walking forward into life with him and modeling for the rest of us what it looks like to leave the parking lot and serve the one in front of you.
I know we got to say goodbye here in a moment, but I do want to ask you this, because what you overcame is pretty dramatic. And most people, when they have hardships that are not quite as hard, have a difficult time moving past them, like Amy was talking about, just parking in the bad area. I mean, what's your bit of advice to somebody who just says, yeah, that's great, you overcame, I can't do that, I don't have it in me?
I would say you're right. You know, I mean, you become what you believe. And so if you believe you don't have it in you, well, that's true. But rather than saying that to them at first, the very first thing I would do, Chris, is just sit with them. I think we get enough judgment in life already. They don't need my motivational speech coming their way. They need a friend. So I think we need one another. I'd sit with them in the shadows and sit with them at the well, love them where they are. And then I think once you know you're loved and it's safe, then you have the audacity to say, you know what, maybe the way I've been thinking in the past is not the way I want to think going forward. And maybe I do have what it takes. Maybe I always did. I just didn't model it. For 20 years, I didn't model it. I hid in the shadows. You can ask my college roommate who's in studio with us right now. I was addicted and broken and looking down at the misery of my life. But then it changed. And I would just encourage folks who right now are living in the shadows to recognize you can live there right now, but it can change. I believe God is still God. The foundation is firm and our best is yet to come.
John O'Leary, congratulations on the movie. It's everybody I've talked to has loved it. We had a great time at the premiere last week, and it sounded like the main premiere was a lot of fun too. So congratulations.
I'm still recovering from that one, but yes, that was
good for you. Good for you, man. Thank you for coming in. It's good to see you again.
Thank you, Amy.
John O'Leary with us here in studio. Hour 2 of the show is next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Windows specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are discussing breast cancer with Dr. Debbie Bennett.
It makes a big difference who's actually interpreting the mammogram images that you get. We make sure that we have an expert team of breast radiologists that specialize in reading mammograms to be sure that we can get you the most accurate read possible.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Winner of the National Edward R. Murrow Award for Breaking News. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
It is 10:01, and right now we've got cloudy skies, 66 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. All 20 remaining living hostages held in Gaza and scores of Palestinian prisoners held by Israel have walked free as part of a ceasefire pausing 2 years of war. The conflict decimated the Gaza Strip, killed tens of thousands of Palestinians, mostly civilians. Speaking to Parliament, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared he was committed to this peace, that raising hopes that the war might come to an end. end, but fundamental questions remain over when and how. Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe denying clemency for Lance Shockley, who was convicted of a brutal 2005 murder of a state trooper. That means Shockley's scheduled execution will go on as scheduled October 14th. A petition with more than 31,000 signatures calling on the governor to stop that execution was delivered to Kehoe's office recently. There's an online petition regarding the Missouri Attorney General. Several groups are teaming up to fight what they say is the AG's office blocking the freedom efforts of people who've been wrongly convicted. The ACLU, the state NAACP, and the MacArthur Justice Center joining the Organization for Black Struggle, stating the Missouri Attorney General's office has gained a national reputation for undermining its own mission of fighting for openness and justice, making the innocent jump through unnecessary, painful hoops. The petition was initiated on International Wrongful Conviction Day. Do you heat up your leftovers in the plastic tub in the microwave? Do you drink your coffee out of a foam cup?
A new study confirms the biggest avenue for micro and nanoplastics to get into human bodies is exposure to heat. Scientists at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln found the effect strongest in plastics that are older and degraded. Still, they say no matter the age, some contain lumps and bumps that cause polymer chains to break into smaller pieces when they're blasted with heat. Researchers aren't sure of the effects on the human body, but mice exposed to high amounts of micro and nanoplastics have shown signs of Alzheimer's and dementia. They've also been linked to higher risk of stroke, heart disease, and deaths in rodents. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
From the business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, it appears there will be far fewer seasonal jobs during the upcoming holidays.
Tariffs and other economic factors are prompting retailers to pull back or even delay plans to hire workers for the upcoming Christmas shopping season. One job placement firm predicts that hiring for the last 3 months of the year will likely fall to its lowest level since the 2009 recession.
At CBS's Jim Krasula, it's estimated that retailers will fill 500,000 positions or fewer the last 3 months of the year. The average seasonal gain since 2005 has been more than 650,000 workers.
Variably cloudy and warm this afternoon. The high 77. Partly cloudy tonight, low 64. Clouds and sun. Very warm for tomorrow, high 83. Partly sunny Wednesday up to 82. I'm AccuWeather's John Feerick on 104.1 FM KMOX.
The weather sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, PennMutual.com/STL. Chances are you have a lot of people who depend on you, your family, maybe even your employees. Life insurance from Penn Mutual can provide you peace of mind and protect the most important people in your life. Ask your independent advisor or go to PennMutual.com/STL. Right now, it's cloudy and 66 degrees from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
11:20 a.m., 104.1 FM, and streaming on the Odyssey app. KMOX is with you, however you listen, wherever you listen.
Hour 2 of the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX. And you may have heard of this show when you were reading STL Magazine months ago, and they were doing voting on the A-list.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the A-list where they have multiple categories, businesses and entities and entertainers and all kinds of things that you can vote on around the city of St. Louis. You may have heard of this show because we were nominated for, was it Best News Talk Show or something like that? And we lost it at the Dave Glover Show.
But it's my fault.
And I'm going to call Amy,
Yeah.
and I am not going to apologize for this, a stupid idiot.
Well,
she is a stupid idiot because she didn't tell anybody in her family to vote for us. Told nobody that she knows to vote for. I forgot. We talked about it every day.
A severance situation.
So
I
it
walk
turns
out of
out-
the studio and people go, "How is the
Okay,
show?"
well then,
and I
so
don't know.
this is why you're a stupid idiot, because we lost to the Glover Show by less than 50 votes. We lost by a handful of votes. Handful of votes.
Literally.
Handful of votes.
The wrong
We
idiot,
lost.
isn't it?
This stupid idiot is the reason we lost. But we do love STL Magazine, and we love tacos. It is Taco Week starting tomorrow.
It is Taco Week.
Oh,
starting
we've got Liz Huff, Vice President of Business Development with St. Louis Magazine, with us now on KMOX. Taco Week, man.
Taco Week.
Oh, first of all, thank you for the pumpkins. You brought goodies for us.
I did. So
And we
there
appreciate
is mango cart beer in there because our friends AB are sponsoring
Yes.
Taco Week.
So there's beer at the bottom and then some other goodies.
We just
And that magazine that you may not have beat Dave Glover in is in print if you'd like to have it.
that's what we need.
Yeah.
We need a
Just
need a
rub it in.
reminder of
Maybe frame it.
Yeah, here it is, the A-list awards.
Yeah.
It's right here.
So
That's
it's
what
in
we need.
there. You can
We just
do
need the
what you with that.
motivation. Yeah, so tell us about Taco Week.
Okay, so Taco Week starts tomorrow. So it runs Tuesday through Sunday. You can go to a bunch of area restaurants in St. Louis and get an $8 taco special. So tons of cool spots. Taco Buddha's in it. Arzola's, which won Best Mexican Restaurant in the A-list
It's
this
at
year.
Benton Park, right?
It is, and
Yeah.
it's so good. Have you been there?
I have not. I've driven past it a couple of times and wondered about it.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So I'll just say this. I love Taco Buddha.
Yes.
And my brother, he married my sister-in-law when they had their wedding. Taco Buddha catered the entire wedding. Like that was their wedding food.
That's probably
And
great.
all of it was gone. I mean, people kept eating and eating. Like when you usually go
Best
to a
wedding ever.
wedding and it's kind of like fish or chicken or whatever, and you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of weird and full of weird gravy. Not Taco Buddha, baby. Oh my gosh, it was so good.
It's so good.
It was so good.
Well, you can
I
go there
highly recommend it.
every day this week for an $8 taco special, both locations. So please go.
I get the Thai taco there.
So real quick, I know the
Yes.
one on
Yeah.
Manchester. Where's the other one?
There's one in Kirkwood on Manchester, and then there's also one in U City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know.
The original
exactly
one
what
is
you're
in U
talking
City,
about.
and then he
Yep.
opened a second one in Kirkwood.
Mhm.
So tons of great spots. There's Locos Tacos. Oh my gosh, I do this every time. Blue Ocean.
Is Soul Taco involved or no?
Soul Taco is involved.
yeah.
Yes.
Terror Tacos.
Terror Tacos is vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like so many
Oh.
good spots that you can try that you may not have been to yet. $8 specials at all of them. Lots of good spots all over town. You download the app. So it's stltacoweek.com. If you download the app, you get a little map. You can find out where you want to go. You can map your course for the week. And then you also check in because we have restaurant gift cards, so prizes from all these spots. Plus, our friends at AB gave us some really cool mango cart swag to give away.
Yes.
Some cornhole games. So we've got some really cool stuff to give you as you participate. Also, just really excited to give those restaurants some local business and get their seats filled for the week.
You know,
I love it.
We have been talking about, and we did more of it, I think, right after the pandemic, and a lot of restaurants really struggled for a while, and some just never fully recovered. Some don't have the business they used to. How much of a rebound has there been, though?
I think they're doing
Generally
pretty
speaking,
well.
in
Yeah.
St. Louis.
I mean, it feels like they're doing pretty well. I think that so if you don't get George Mayhew's newsletter on Fridays,
Yep.
you should, because he's really digging into a lot of those stories, and you can sign up for that. But we're getting a lot of new spots that are popping up,
Mhm.
and a lot of the places that have opened in the last few years haven't closed, which I
Yep.
think is a good sign.
Yeah.
So people are really getting back into going out to dinner. I think people are also really dying to be out in public again and be around people. We're seeing a rise in events too. So St. Louis is bustling.
So I was watching a Food Network show because that's really the TV that I watch. It's Hallmark and Food Network, and they were talking about like the fusions of different cuisines and how a lot of times when we talk about Mexican food here or tacos or whatever, we're really talking about Tex-Mex. And
Right, right.
it not
Yeah.
necessarily
Like
like
the authentic
authentic
Mexican,
Mexican. A lot
yes.
of times it's Tex-Mex. And one of the chefs posited that Tex-Mex might be the best cuisine collaboration that's ever happened in our country. Like obviously Mexican food is so good, and then you add in the Tex-Mex as well because, like you said, it's not necessarily
makes sense.
authentic.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I was like, you know what?
It is pretty good.
You might be right.
It's so
Tex-Mex
good.
might be the best cuisine collab we've ever had.
Yeah, that's true.
So
It
I
could
guess
be.
with these tacos, some would be authentic Mexican, some would be Tex-Mex, and then some would be like Soul Taco, Asian and Mexican. But even that Thai taco at Taco
Yes.
Buddha, Taco Buddha's Asian
Totally.
and Mexican.
He does a phenomenal job of kind of creating these cool different menu items and mixing flavors, and it's just so that place. I love him. I love Taco Buddha. I love everything he does over there. But like you said, there's a huge mix of types of restaurants. So you
Mhm.
can get vegan tacos. You can go down to Benton Park, and Arzola's also has a phenomenal margarita. You can go to Sharpshooters, which is
I'm not
has-
familiar with
I
Sharpshooter.
haven't either.
I think they're in Fenton.
And I haven't been to
Um,
Saucy Porca.
Okay.
either.
I know
Saucy
about Saucy
Porka
Porka.
is
That's by
also
Slew,
delicious.
isn't it?
Yes, and
Yeah.
they're more like bao bunny type. So
Yeah.
you also can get kind of a Korean mix
Yeah.
there too.
So there's a lot of like
There's
Asian
a lot of
Mexican
variety. Yeah, there's a lot of
combinations, yeah.
variety, which I think is super cool. And what I
Yeah.
love again about this is it's an $8 special. Everybody's getting creative and having fun with it to drive folks in, but you can try new restaurants and you're going to add some new guys to your rotation because there's some really, really great ones in here.
And also, I feel like, relatively speaking, tacos are pretty budget friendly. I mean, especially this one with like the $8 taco, but it's not like it's a filet mignon week, which would be fun, but super
Which
expensive.
we need.
Well, it's you. I mean,
Coming soon.
Filet mignon week.
St.
Done.
Louis Magazine does this.
We need a filet week.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
And then
Wait.
could you come back in then too?
Absolutely.
With a
So-
pumpkin full of
Pumpkin
steak.
full of steak. Yes.
When you were here with Mike Johnson from
Yes.
High Point for Burger Week,
Yes.
STL Burger Week back in August. So how did we talk to you? I think while it was going on.
Yeah.
How did it turn out?
It was amazing. It did great. Tons and tons of new app downloads. Tons of people were out and about. I anecdotally, my husband's boss became very obsessed and ate burgers twice a day for like a week
Oh God.
and was sending me pictures.
Is he okay?
He seems okay
Yeah,
so far.
that's-
We're going to see how dedicated he is to tacos.
Yeah.
But it went really well. And I think the restaurants were really excited to get people in. Again, people are excited to get out and about again and take their families out. And it's reasonably priced, which is nice.
And who are we just talking to was from out of town? At any rate, I can't remember. And when we were talking about St. Louis and, you know, how all St. Louisans do, we can focus on the negatives. But this one guy, whoever we were talking to, said, yeah, okay, St. Louis, you know, smaller market or whatever. We're trying to compete with Indianapolis and so forth. However, St. Louis way outpunches its weight class in the food scene.
Oh, that's right.
For sure.
Yes.
Insanely outpunches its weight class in the food scene. Like, that's legit.
Yeah. Well, look at what we have here. We have phenomenal chefs. We've got great things going on. I don't know if you guys are familiar with, we're also doing this thing called Supper Club, where each quarter you buy a ticket to a 5-course meal and you have no idea where you're going until the morning of. And George,
that's interesting.
It's so fun. George and Cheryl work with the chef
Yeah.
and they come up with this amazing meal. We just did our last one a couple weeks ago. It was at Lucy Quinn in the Grove. The first one was at Bowood. So, I mean,
Just went there last week. Great.
it's so fun. But to
Yeah.
your point, we have such a great food scene and there's so many great options because we've got so many chefs that are really digging in and investing in St. Louis.
So how do you join that club?
So you have to sign up for George's newsletter.
Okay.
And then we will announce when tickets go on sale. There's going to be another one in November. So tickets will go on sale probably late October.
Excellent.
Our marketing team's listening to me screaming because they don't
Why?
know what
Why?
date it is. But it's
Why are they
late.
mad
Should
at
be-
you?
No, it should be late
You're-
October. I should know the
You're
date.
the boss.
Stop.
You do whatever you want. So what is the best way to sign up for the newsletter? Is it to go to stlmag.com?
stlmag.com/newsletters. Or
Okay.
tap in the top right corner, there's a little newsletters tab. And then you can pick what you want. So we've got dining in that talks all about ingredients and local cooking and what you can be doing at home.
Okay.
And then we also have dining out, which is George talking all about restaurants and all
Yeah,
that.
he's
good stuff.
great.
And then there's great family stuff. Sarah Fensky does her daily newsletter. So there's a lot of good stuff in there
Mm-hmm.
that we encourage you guys to be getting.
stltacoweek.com.
Yes, sir.
Go to stltacoweek.com and then you can download the app directly from there. Taco Week starts tomorrow and it runs through the end of the week through the 19th.
Through Sunday. Yep.
So get out there and get some tacos.
You got time. It's not just Taco Tuesday this week.
It's like Taco whole week.
It's taco every day.
That means tequila every day if you want.
And you know tequila is healthy.
It is. It's the cleanest alcohol.
And it speeds up your metabolism.
That's why
then
I'm
how
telling
come
you.
how come it's the one that always makes me want to puke?
And it's an upper. Well, you need to be drinking clear tequila.
Yes.
And not crummy tequila.
Okay.
You need good tequila.
I do
and
like
don't
a-
mix it with a bunch of sugar.
See, that's the
What are
thing.
the
You
good-
can't do the sugar.
I don't. What are the good ones?
Casamigos.
You always
Is
that's
my
the
famous.
George Clooney's.
Mhm.
That is
right?
a good one.
My famous, my
I
favorite.
like an Hornitos.
Hornitos?
Mhm.
Oh,
I'm a simple gal.
that's a reasonable one,
Yes.
right?
Club
Yes.
soda.
You got to be reasonable if you drink it every day.
You do. Club soda and Casamigos.
Budget friendly.
Yeah. Well, you go
With a
to
bunch of
Costco.
limes. Bunch of
Costco
limes,
has a
tequila,
lot of
club soda.
tequila. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
And don't do the sugar because the sugar is what makes people sick.
Yep.
Also, I've never been drunk and I never went to college and got drunk at college, which is why I can have tequila. Because I will say, when I tell people I drink tequila, and sometimes I just drink it over ice, everyone's like, oh, like I can never drink tequila again. And I think it's because they did all
Do
the
you know?
sugary drinks.
I'll tell you.
dumb things.
I'll tell you exactly why. Tequila gives me that gag response. because when I was in college, there was a bar that had like $5 32-ounce Long Islands.
Oh,
like on certain nights, and a Long Island is yeah. And so the first time I ever got sick, it was from that.
Yeah.
And tequila is the most dominant smell and taste in a Long Island to me. So I have a very difficult time with it. The Hornitos?
Just try.
Don't
get
sugar.
cute.
Yeah, don't get cute. Just do club soda.
You know what is good? Tequila with an orange instead of the lime.
It is good. I like a tequila with Fresca.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you can definitely do that. But then sometimes it's too easy to drink.
Well,
you got to slow yourself down.
That's why we buy the budget-friendly tequila at Sam's.
Liz Huff, we appreciate you coming in. STL Taco Week starts tomorrow. Go to stltacoweek.com, and it runs through Sunday. Thanks for the treats.
Thanks for
and
having me.
the magazine that says, hey, Chris and Amy, losers.
Maybe you should have campaigned a little bit more.
I did.
I'm not good at.
Try harder next time.
Here's the thing. I can sell other people. I have a hard time talking about how great I am.
We weren't. We just wanted to beat the Glover show.
I know. That's
all
what
you
we
do
said.
is go tell your family, hey, do we
Dave.
just want to beat the Dave Glover show?
We don't want to win. We just want them to lose.
Unbelievable.
That's right.
This-
There you go. I'm good with
this
that.
clown over here.
Because your candle does burn brighter when you blow out other people's candles.
Yeah, they say it doesn't.
Dull their
I totally
Dull it.
disagree. Liz Huff, Vice President of Business Development with St. Louis Magazine. Thanks for coming in again.
Thanks, guys.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Hey Illinois, this is Ben Barnett, board certified master arborist and owner at Timberline Professional Tree Care. Sorry St. Louis, this message is for our friends in the Metro East. Did you know that most Missouri-based tree contractors can't legally travel into Illinois? This is due to federal motor carrier regulations that require large trucks and their drivers to be registered with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration in order to travel across state lines. Almost all other tree services in Missouri fail to meet the requirements for safety, drug and alcohol testing, and equipment maintenance that are required for interstate travel. Here at Timberline, we meet and exceed all of these requirements and will be glad to travel across the river to meet all of your tree care needs. Call us today at 636-479-7475 for tree fertilization, pruning, insect and disease treatment, or complete removal. Or visit our website at stltreecare.com. That's stltreecare.com for service in the Metro East area.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey. If you or someone you know has a home to sell, call Gloria Lou. That's right, Gloria Lou, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria is here with me now. And when it comes to St. Louis area market conditions, what advice do you have for home sellers in today's market?
Well, most importantly, I understand every seller's situation is different. Some sellers need to sell, and some sellers want to sell. And a lot of my sellers are looking to buy, and they also have a home to sell. My advice in this uncertain market is to get an upfront written guarantee. That way, you know exactly how much you stand to make with your home sale. My guarantee sale offer is simple. I'll sell your home at 100% of market value, or I'll pay you the difference.
Take it from me, Debbie Monterey. Sell with certainty and an upfront written guarantee with Gloria Lou. 314-325-6888. 314-325-6888 or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
The Musil Awards celebrates its 20th year on Saturday, November 22nd at Stiefel Theater. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised
customized event hosted right here in St. Louis. It's a night to be entertained and inspired. Tickets at MusealAwards.com.
You asked, we delivered. KMOX, now on FM. Crystal clear sound at 104.1 FM.
Chris and Amy Show, 104.1 FM, KMOX. It is STL Taco Week starting tomorrow. Let's just do tacos for the rest of the week. Every day, somebody brings us tacos.
I'm telling you, go get the Thai
Frank
taco.
brings us tacos.
Get the Thai taco at Taco Buddha. It'll
Thai
change your
taco?
life. Yeah.
Thai taco. All right. Sounds good. We are going to talk to Matt Pauley. A little bit different time, I believe.
We're not sure.
We're not sure.
We're looking into it.
We're talking to him. We're not. We're looking into it.
Tentatively. How do you say that?
Tentatively.
You did
at 10:35.
Wait, is it tentatively or tentative?
There are 3 T's in it.
Tentatively.
Yes. Tentative.
But you don't really pronounce that second one.
Someone
It's
said
tongue.
tentative, but it's attentive.
Attentive.
Tentatively.
Yes.
But someone
Attentive
said-
is yes. I am
yes.
attentive to you.
Yes, but someone on a podcast said attentive. Wait, Wait.
Just hold on. I listened to this. It was popular for a bit. It was one of those true crime podcasts
Yeah.
called Up and Vanished. It was about a
oh yeah,
young woman who disappeared, and I don't know exactly.
she up and vanished.
She up and
That's the whole
vanished.
point.
And the guy who hosts the podcast, he did all the research, and it was a good podcast. But he said supposedly one time,
Oh.
and that's all I can think about.
Yeah.
Every time I hear his voice, I think supposedly. Which is not it is, but not in the way
It's not a word.
people have used it.
Just
It's a
because
word
a word
now.
is no, but you can't. Just like irregardless is not a word. But they're like, oh, it's in the dictionary now. Yes, because the dictionary gave up. The dictionary gave up its soul to idiocy because people don't know that irregardless is not a word. It's irrespective or regardless, but not irregardless. And yes, I know it's in the dictionary now because they gave up. They couldn't do it the right. People couldn't do it the right way.
And now that we're talking about it, what's the one? Oh, could not care less.
Oh,
Could care less.
When people say, I could care less.
Yeah.
I could care less what you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, then
That means you
you
could
care less.
I hate it. I hate it so
Yeah.
much. It makes my skin crawl when I
Yeah.
hear people say, I could care less about this.
Yeah.
It's couldn't.
Yeah,
I could not care less. Why do we do such a bad job with contractions? And I understand English is a difficult language. I
Not
get
just
it.
contractions. It's just grammar.
Why do you think? Why
Here's
do you think the word
We-
couldn't exist? What do you
Oh.
think the N and the T are? It's could not.
Yeah.
Could not
So
care less.
a lot of schools stopped teaching grammar. And I mean grammar. That's what they call it, grammar school, like kindergarten through 8th grade. They stopped teaching it in high school. You can't. The reading levels are not what they used to be. I literally had a grammar book. It said grammar on the front, which makes you feel like you're 12, but I had it all through high school. And I do say that's why I got a perfect score on the English ACT because I did grammar. Like if you do grammar through high school, it will set you up for college. But we stop for some reason teaching basic grammar skills. I was diagramming sentences still when I was a senior in high school. And you start diagramming really difficult sentences like from books from the 18th century.
Now, another one that is just infuriating.
Yes.
Which, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong on this one, but in my experience in my daily life, I think people are doing it less than they used to. But the misuse of the theirs,
Yeah.
THEIR, THERE, and the contraction they are there, people don't know the difference.
Yeah.
I feel like people have gotten better at it. At least people in my life have gotten better at it. I think
because it became a thing for a while.
Maybe. I don't see the misuse of there anymore.
I mean, I didn't buy this hat, but I saw this hat at like a boutique store and it said, this is why you're single or something. And it was the wrong version of your.
Oh.
And so then the correction underneath is like me, your.
Yes. Yep.
This is why you're single. And so I do think the incorrect forms of those words is very frustrating. Also, I had a friend, we called her the comma queen. because when she was in doubt, she would just add commas. I was like, there's so many commas in this sentence that you don't need.
One of my best friends in the entire world still says especially.
Oh.
And not only does he say it, he texts it that way. Like he spells it that way.
No.
Yeah.
Why haven't you corrected
How
him?
does he? What? I do. It's just I don't know. It's a lost cause.
So I will say I taught a kid when he was like 4 or 5. He would say "tooken" instead of like I took.
Oh my God.
He goes, "I tooken it," and I didn't want to correct him because it was so cute.
How old was he?
Like 4 or 5.
No, you got to correct him right there.
Oh.
You bully him into using the correct word.
I tooken this. I'm like, oh my gosh.
So this is a text message we've gotten to the phone number 314-436-7900. And this is a person who says the word axe is socially acceptable in America in the year 2025. And I believe they are referring to axes instead of ask. Like, hey, let me ask you a question. If I'm not mistaken, axe is an old English way of pronunciation, like in the 16th, 17th century. Like it was written that way.
I don't know. I mean, but also there are a lot of words that were used one way in the 19th century that aren't used that way in the 20th and 21st. And I learned that the hard way. I don't even want to say there are some words that meant to exclaim that no longer mean to exclaim.
So
I'm just
can
saying,
you give
like,
us a hint?
As words change.
Yeah, give us a hint. You can't just say this and not give us some sort of hint what you're talking about.
I think I know what it is. I'll tell you the break.
Well, can you give a hint?
What is it? The letter E?
It starts with the letter E, and Charles Dickens would use this word like, oh no, he exclaimed. But he didn't exclaim because I said it one time and I was like 11 and because I was reading.
What's the last
Charles
letter in the
Dickens.
word?
Also an E.
Why? I have no.
It's kind of like extrapolate, but it's not.
Come on.
I have no idea. I can't wait.
We're gonna give Ranj a little lesson.
Am I going to be in trouble? So we are not going to talk to Matt Pauley next. I believe
Yes,
we'll
we
talk.
are. Yes, we are.
Oh, we are.
He's in.
Okay, way to go, Matt. All right, we're going to talk a little sports. Mizzou and Illinois both lost over the weekend. His Brewers, that's his favorite baseball team. The Brewers have advanced to the NLCS. Chiefs won yesterday, beating the Lions. A lot of sports to get into with Matt Pauley.
Blues play tonight, too.
The Blues play tonight. Blues won on Saturday. That's coming up next with Matt Pauley on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Who's been talking about St. Louis sports since 1985? Bernie Miklasz.
I say this not to be critical. I say it more to just find the humor in it. It's like the Cardinals, the word rebuild to them is like so toxic. It's like a banned word. You are not allowed to speak the word rebuild, right? And I think it's kind of funny because the rebuild actually has already started.
Bernie Miklasz. Hear what he has to say on the voice of the St. Louis Cardinals. 104.1 FM KMOX.
This football season has been so exciting, and there's a way for it to get even better. I know you're probably like, how? FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, is coming to Missouri. FanDuel, the official sports book of Y98, is coming on December 1st. That's right. It'll be able for you to bet on your favorite teams, your favorite players. What FanDuel allows for you to do is make the experience of watching sports even more intense. That's what I love about sports. You see the competition on the field, and it's like you are part of the game. Finally, with FanDuel, it's all coming to Missouri, and you're able to do it. You can bet on money lines, over and under, which team will win it all. You can bet on the very next play, who's going to score the next touchdown. It puts you inside the game. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Visit FanDuel.com/Missouri and download the app. We're throwing it back to our glory days all week long here on the Brett Mega Show, and it's like the glory days of you being inside the game. You finally made it to the NFL because you were part of the game. FanDuel, play your game. 21 and over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER for FanDuel.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently it's 70 degrees, a high today of 77. Could be a brief shower or two. Otherwise, just warm with variable cloudiness. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 59. Weather sponsored by Sachs Financial.
Hey, it's Jeff Sachs at Sachs Financial. Did you know that you have a pension and there are ways to maximize how you take it? That's right. It's called Social Security. Find out more at retiresafestl.com/guide. That's retiresafestl.com/guide.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. performance. Atlas Roofing provides the best value in architectural shingles. Atlas shingles feature a limited lifetime warranty and wind resistance up to 130 miles per hour. Plus, their super wide design saves on installation time. Visit us in-store or on Menards.com and get a free estimate fast on your shingle project with our easy-to-use design program.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Red Kingdom is back at FanDuel Sports Network Live in Ballpark Village. See every game on the largest screen in town. Don't forget about the $25 buckets, $5 cocktails, and the best tailgate food around. Grab your friends along with King MOX and huddle up for the games at the best watch party in town. If you can't make it, but don't want to miss it down, listen to the Chiefs on King MOX or King MOX on the Odyssey app. For more info, kingmox.com/events.
Hi, Stacy with Fairwinds Rivers Edge Senior Living in St. Charles. Are you a senior seeking a fun retirement? Do you want less work and more play? Do you want to enjoy great food that you don't have to cook? Then I know. Stop what you're doing right now and call Fairwinds. Set up a time to visit and have a meal. Meet some of our awesome residents. Check us out online at fairwindsriversedge.com. We hope to talk with you soon.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Go, Paulie!
Paulie's a great name.
Go, Paulie!
What'd you do for Paulie? Anything?
Me, Paulie! I was responsible!
Paulie, we're here because of you.
Just had a big sports weekend. Lots of big games, college football, NFL. We've got hockey, which is happening now, and it's time to go to the guest line. We welcome in Matt Pauley, the host of Sports Open Line and Rush Hour Sports, which starts at 5 o'clock every weekday when there's not a game that conflicts with it. Here on KMOX, Matt Pauley, good morning.
Good morning.
So I guess let's start with the college football because these two games were very big. Mizzou hosting Alabama had an actual opportunity in that one. The Fighting Illini wasn't so close as they hosted the number one team in the country in Champaign. So let's start with Mizzou here. That's one they probably should have won.
Yeah, I think they're going to look back and regret that. And that was the opportunity for them to get rid of the yeah, but. Because anytime from a national standpoint, anybody ever talks about Mizzou and all the things that they have accomplished and who they've beat, there's always this, yeah, but, ... This was finally the chance for them to get that win against a top 10 team and really show. And again, they played well. I don't think they played a bad game. That's a really good Bama team that they were matched up against. I just lament for their sake the missed opportunity to come away with what would have been a really, really, really big win.
Yeah, Matt, that's what I was saying at the beginning of the show is, I mean, why are people down on Mizzou when they were going into this game undefeated? And I think it's because historically when they play these blue blood schools, they haven't been able to win. And I agree with you. I think the yeah, but will be there until they beat a team like Alabama.
I would tend to agree, or until they go on like a deep run in the college football playoff, where if you do that, you're probably beating one of those teams. And it's not fair to them. I mean, if you get rid of the sticker decal and just put their resume down on the table, they look so good in recent years. And but that's part of being still one of the, it feels like they've been in the SEC for a while, but they're still one of the newer teams in the SEC, and they don't have, like you said, kind of that blue blood feeling. So it stinks for them. They're a lot better than they get credit for nationally. But at the same time, they could have shut those people up by winning this weekend, and they were unable to do it.
Hey, Matt, before we move on, just quickly, what do you make of the do you like the blood donor games in college football? I know John Hancock always jokes that, Mizzou opened the season against Parkway West and they won. And so I know there's a benefit for smaller schools. Do you like the blood donor games, or do you think it just adds to the but conversation?
I think there's a place for them. I think you can have too many of them. Now, mind you, I'm a graduate of Kansas State, and Bill Snyder built that football program up playing absolutely nobody in the non-conference. So I've got a little bit of a bias to it. If you go ask Tom Ackerman and his, Indiana Hoosiers, and you look at who they have not played in the non-conference this year, and that didn't affect them beating Oregon this past weekend. So you can be successful doing it. I don't think you have to play the good teams, but the SEC is going to require every team plays at least one power conference team in their non-conference every year. I think it's better for college football when you are matched up against good teams. From a economic standpoint, those games are incredibly important for those schools that come in. Very often, a year's worth of athletic department funding can be connected to that money that they bring in. So I've got mixed feelings on it. Do I love the fact when you've got good teams playing against not so good teams? No, I'd rather see better games, but I do think there is a place for those games.
Just one last question on college football and these two programs, Illinois and Missouri. To me, it seems like each team is pretty similar in their respective conferences in terms of how people look at them. But do you think that both of those programs could legitimately get to a place where they are perennially at least in the playoff conversation? I don't mean national championship, but playoff conversation.
Yeah, playoff conversation, sure. Can those be, because you're in the playoff conversation if you're consistently a ranked team. There's going to be teams that are on the lower end of the top 25 that get into the playoff.
Expanded. I mean, the playoffs expanded. So
yeah, right. So no, absolutely. I think that should be the expectation for both of those teams, that every single year you go into it and you say, this team, if everything falls right, this team has a legitimate opportunity to be in the college football playoff.
Hey, Matt, the Blues play tonight. They picked up their first win of the season on Saturday. They beat the Calgary Flames 4-2. I was a little nervous when they went through that first period without a goal. I thought, oh my gosh, this is like the gorilla on everybody's back right now until they score that goal. And they did, and they turned it around. So big win for them. And tonight, another game as well. So what did you make of their first two games of the season, and which team looked like the real Blues to you?
Yeah, I didn't take too much away from the fact that they lost 5-0 in the opener. It was a bummer, but that's as much as I would say about that. It was a bummer that it went down that way. You would have really liked your home opener to be better. Yesterday, I thought was fine. They're tied late. They're able to score some goals there at the end. Jake Neighbors had a nice day. So I still think it's too early to make any sort of like wide-ranging statements about this team that would change what we were saying going into the season. I think they're a good team. I think they're going to win a lot of games this year, and I think they play in a conference and in a division that's going to be really, really, really tough. There's going to be some good teams in the Western Conference that don't make it in the playoffs this year. That's why Jim Montgomery's talked a lot about having a strong start to the season, just because there's so many home games in the first month and a half of the year that you don't want to waste those where all of a sudden late in the season you're trying to win some even tougher games just to find your way into the playoffs.
And I'll just add this quickly, since you brought up Jake Neighbors, who had 2 goals in the Saturday's game. He might be the most underrated or under-talked about Blue. Like, don't sleep on Jake Neighbors this season. He might hold his spot on the first line for the majority of the season, but he's a good player.
Yeah, and for him to start on the third line, you almost, and there was the injury to Sundqvist, so then they had to move Bukestad down to the fourth line center spot. And when that all happened, I kind of looked at Jake Neighbors and I said, man, that's a bummer for him, because I want him to have as much talent next to him as possible, because I think he's got the opportunity to have a really, really good season. And, lines shift around and he's going to move around, and that's not a permanent sort of thing. But that was, to your point, that was my first thought when the Sundqvist injury went down and that ended up impacting the third line, that, how is this going to impact a guy like Jake Neighbors, who I think has the potential to have one heck of a season.
Every time the Brewers advance, all I can think about is what the hell, man. So the Milwaukee Brewers have advanced to the NLCS. They will play their first game tonight. So they are going up against the Dodgers, a very, very good baseball team. So, I mean, here we are, because we always go back to the conversations we were having in like June when the Cardinals were in front of the Brewers, that Milwaukee's not a team you got to worry about. And now here they are in the LCS yet again. When you see this, when you see the Brewers continuing to advance and play well, what does it make you think?
I don't know, that they're smarter than everybody else. But I mean, I thought the Cubs were going to win that game. Up until that game ended, I thought the Cubs were going to win that game, and they didn't. So credit goes to the Brewers. And now I think the same thing. Like, there's no way they beat the Dodgers. They're not going to beat like that. I'm back in that mode, which probably means they're gonna beat the Dodgers. But I don't know. Again, they're so smart. They are so smart in Milwaukee with the way they do things. Give a lot of credit to them, but on paper, it continues to be something that confuses. The Cubs on paper are a better team than the Milwaukee Brewers, but that ended up not mattering.
Yep, the Brewers are on to the NLCS. Oh, I can't believe it.
I don't think they're not real, though. Ranj does not believe in
I don't
them
believe
yet.
they're real.
By the way, I heard you earlier, tongue-in-cheek, saying Matt Pauley's favorite team, the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's just make it very clear for our listeners that was a sarcastic comment.
Well, Matt, you don't have to worry, because he also said that Sean Malone personally indicted Sheriff Alfred Montgomery.
Yes. Yeah, Sean Malone.
And Sean has been like, I didn't indict him.
Sean Malone and his gotcha journalism has gone after our sheriff.
So anyway.
Our sheriff, yeah.
And by the way, we did have a text message that said, if Sheriff Alfred Montgomery had known about the A list, he would have sat at home and voted for us all day.
Oh,
which is true.
That's nice.
So, yeah. Hey, big game.
Is Sheriff Montgomery a fan of the Chris and Amy show?
Well, he has to be, because I'm his
Chris is his
I'm his
only
number one
supporter.
fan. I'm his only supporter.
Yeah.
Everybody, it's a witch hunt.
So
It's been rigged against him, clearly. Most important game, Matt Pauley, is tonight. And the game is on KMOX. It is the Bears and the Commanders. What do you think?
Yes. One of two Monday night. I'm glad. I didn't even know which Monday night game we were running. So I'm glad that you said that. So yeah, it's going to be, I think Washington wins. Sorry, Ron. But it should be a fun game. And I think the other Monday night game is the more intriguing game with Atlanta and Buffalo.
I disagree. Okay. That's right. This is it. Let's go. The beloved tonight. Bears, Commanders, the two young quarterbacks going at it again. The only reason Washington won last time is on a fluke, because one of their defensive players was over mugging the sideline, looking at the crowd like, eh.
Are you feeling bad for Justin Fields as a former Bears quarterback and what's happening in New York?
Yeah, I do feel bad for him.
Oh, they had negative 10 passing yards as a team yesterday.
Yeah. I know.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Is that a joke?
Nope.
No.
It was something like -4 at the half.
Wow.
And everybody was like, wow, this is crazy. -4. And then they ended up worse.
Yeah. Fields threw for 45, but the team had -10.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, I feel bad for that dude. I think he is super talented, and he was one of the most electrifying players on my team for a short period of time, because he could take off and run, and he was awesome. But man, just not working out for him.
Say what you want to say about Aaron Rodgers. Just a terrible look that he has the Steelers at 4-1, and that this new coach with the Jets, Aaron Glenn, who is clearly in over his head.
Yes, he is.
chose not to even if he had Aaron Rodgers fly out to New York to tell him, yeah, we're moving on from you, on what could have been an email or a phone call. And now Rodgers is 4-1 and the Jets might not win a game this year. It's there are some people who you can just tell should not. The Jets have issues all over the place, but there are some people you just tell should not be NFL head coaches. I mean, Aaron Glenn's going after the media yesterday because they asked whether or not Justin Fields is going to stay the starter when Fields throws for 45 yards. Totally legit question. You got your best player, Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, going off on him at halftime because of it. It is a disaster there in New York with the Jets.
Well, Matt Pauley, I'm sure that you've got plenty to talk about on Rush Hour Sports tonight. So that gets going at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
And then do you have a little bit of Sports Open Line?
Yeah, I got about a half-hour Sports Open Line. We'll go to 6:30 tonight.
Hey, I have a PSA for sports fans. If they missed Baker Mayfield's 45-yard touchdown pass did you see it?
Yes, I was watching that game. His run, which was incredible.
Yeah.
And then he throws that pass, and it just gets into the fingertips of this young wide receiver first. And Baker Mayfield could legitimately win an MVP award this year. He was awesome yesterday in that game.
He's
been a lot of fun,
and
man.
it was, but for Tez Johnson, it was an incredible catch, full speed, like you said, the fingertips, and he pulls it in. Yeah, you're right about Mayfield and Johnson, rookie wide receiver. I think that was his first touchdown.
Yep, it was.
Matt Pauley,
Crazy.
We'll be listening tonight, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yo, Paulie, your sister's with me. I'll call you back later. See ya.
It's one of those catches. I was in the middle of a conversation, and then the conversation stops, and everyone goes, "Oh my gosh, whoa!"
Plenty of sports on KMOX. Rush Hour Sports at 5 o'clock. Sports Open Line usually from 6 until 8, unless there's a game conflicting like tonight. So from 5 all the way up until the Bears-Commanders game tonight on KMOX. Sports programming for you. Did you see this? Next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Thank you, Missouri, for making Genesis of St. Charles your #1 and most trusted Genesis dealer for 2025. Thrilling offers for an unforgettable season are now here at Genesis of St. Charles. For a limited time only, get 0% APR for up to 60 months on all new Genesis models. You don't want to miss this one. These offers absolutely end October 31st. Visit genesisofstcharles.com today. Based on GMA sales records for 2024 on approved credit for Genesis Finance. See dealer for details.
In the fight against Alzheimer's, now matters more than ever because now we have new treatments that could change everything. This is Megan Lynch. Join me Saturday, October 25th at the Chesterfield Amphitheater for the St. Louis Walk to End Alzheimer's. It's the region's largest fundraiser to fight dementia and support those living with the disease because now is the time for action. You can join in the fight by registering for the walk at alz.org/walk. That's alz.org/walk.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley for i3 Broadband, the internet provider in the Pauley household. I think you'd love it if you had them as well. We've got the 2 gig package at our home, 2 gig upload, 2 gig download mirrored, and we're spending less money than we did with the cable company for lesser service. Plus, right now, they've got savings over $400 beyond their already low standard pricing. You got questions? They've got answers. Call 877-976-0711, and they've got people there who can answer all your questions, or head to their website, i3broadband.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Hey guys, this is Kevin Wheeler, and let me ask you something. What if you could be 20 pounds lighter by Christmas? Well, that's what people are seeing with the $25,000 Operation Transformation Challenge from Supplement Superstores. It's 8 weeks, it's free, and it's happening right now. So don't sit back while everyone else gains weight this holiday season. This is your chance to get ahead. So when you join, you get everything you need to crush it. Custom meal and workout plans made for you, diet-friendly recipes, including for the holidays, weekly progress scans and accountability, access to S2's private Facebook community, weekly prizes and giveaways, 24/7 support from real trainers and nutrition experts. And here's the best part. The top transformation wins $10,000, and the new partner division where you sign up with a friend takes home $15,000. I already joined to keep myself on track through the holidays, and trust me, you don't want to wait until January to start. Spots are filling fast and signups close soon, so join Operation Transformation today at supplementsuperstores.com or stop by your local S2 before it's too late.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Oh, I got bad news, Ranj.
What?
Layla's Hair Museum. It's a museum in Kansas City filled with human hair displays. It's closing its door for goods. These are...
What?
good.
Closing its doors for good. We just had a grammar conversation, and you absolutely botched that.
For goods. These hair pieces, they're century-old wreaths made from human hair, and they're framed, and they're all over the walls, and they have lots of stories. These tresses, they allegedly have come from famous people like past presidents, Hollywood legend Marilyn Monroe, and, quote, even Jesus, which I feel like this is not true. At any rate, it's old hair, and the human hair is braided into elaborate wreaths and floral designs and framed. Bit shocking that it was after the owner died. I guess they are closing the doors. But as one astute reporter pointed out, it's safe to say the owners of the building will change the locks.
Hair museum.
And it's not even like on mannequin heads. It's like wreaths. It's art made from human hair. I would gag.
Remember the lady I told you about on that show called Extreme Cheapskates?
Yeah.
And one of the things she was doing, and it was a show about people who saved money, and she would floss with her own hair.
No.
She would pull her hair out and floss with it. Yep.
That is not real.
Yep. Nope. Yep. And this was the lady who was going to the park and doing yoga. There was a yoga class that would gather in the park.
Yeah.
And instead of paying for the class, she would hide behind a tree.
That I respect.
Okay, now hold on. She would hide behind the tree, watch them. And her yoga mat, by the way, was bubble wrap because she didn't want to pay for a yoga mat.
Did she pop it first?
I guess. I don't know. So she's using this mat, and she would hide behind the tree. And then when the guy would look up at her, she'd roll it up real quick and run away and get in her car and drive off. So they go and interview the yoga instructor about it. And he goes, All she has to do is go to the park district and sign up. I don't know why she does this.
It's free.
It was awesome.
That's so good.
Hey, so apparently not enough people listening to the Chris and Amy show, because recently we talked to Dan Zarlingo with the Missouri Department of Conservation about bears, about keeping safe around bears. It had been 133 years since the last recorded fatal attack on a human, according to the Post-Dispatch.
In the Ozarks.
In the Ozarks.
Yeah.
And there were 2 people now who have been killed over the span of a month in the Ozarks. And the most recent was a 60-year-old man from Springfield, Missouri. And he was at a campsite and they found his body. He had been dragged away. But two in the course of a month, and it had been over 130 years in the Ozarks.
Yeah, that's wild.
Right?
So what is that, 1890, basically?
I mean, you would think it would have happened at least once in that time period. And the fact it's happened twice in a month and did not happen for over 130 years is
Because
crazy.
black bears, like, they really don't want to kill you. Grizzlies are dangerous, but black bears really, if you stay out of their way, they're not going to bother you. But yeah, whether this was malnourished bear or bear had gotten too used to eating human food, but really sad.
We will talk to White House correspondent with the Bulwark, Andrew Egger, who joins us every Monday at 11 o'clock. Andrew joins us next on KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here. It's October, and this is when the weather really starts to shift. The mornings are crisp, the evenings are cool. Before long, those chilly fall breezes will turn into full-blown winter winds. Right now, buy 2 windows to get 2 free with no limit, plus enjoy 0% interest for 3 full years. And to top it off, get an extra $500 off your entire home improvement project. That's Universal Windows Direct. Give them a call at 314-334-2522 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Looking for some iced caffeine, left you in the cold. No one knows why brown water costs as much as liquid gold. Told them your name was Brian, why does this cup say Nicole? But then you found paradise in your cup at the Quick Trip. No regrets to start your day.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer: an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your traffic. So get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Save 77% on NordVPN and get 3 extra months.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts, or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I get those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real. And I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It is 11 o'clock, and we have cloudy skies, 70 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
I'm Debbie Monterey. It's day 13 of the government shutdown. Both houses of Congress remain in recess. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, blaming the shutdown on Democrats and called on some to vote with Republicans.
We need 5 Senate Democrats now to break ranks and do the right thing.
Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Bernie Sanders with their explanation of what's at stake.
Your insurance, your monthly insurance premiums are going to double for millions of people across the country.
At a time when we are already paying, by far, the highest prices in the world for healthcare, at a time when people can't afford it right now.
President Trump again today threatening to end some government programs if the shutdown continues, says he will lay off. The layoffs will target federal employees in programs favored by Democrats, although he doesn't say what programs those are. The top 10 universities and colleges in Missouri are ranked by WalletHub, and coming in at number 1 is Washington University. There were 30 different key measures grouped into 7 categories, including cost, student selectivity, and career outcomes. St. Louis University came in 6th, UMSL 7th. The other 7 schools were out of the St. Louis region. A new study published in JAMA finds a link between social media use by younger kids and lower grades.
There were actually bigger differences or bigger deficits in cognitive performance for those who had a high
San Francisco says kids between the ages of 9 and 13 who use social media 1 to 3 hours a day scored 5 points lower on reading and memory tests on average. It's a big idea to raise money for replanting trees to replace the tens of thousands lost to the May tornado. Maxine Clark has kicked off the Trick or Tree program, asking kids to ask for money for trees when they're asking neighbors for candy.
And the mayor's behind it, and no one said no. Everybody's been saying, great, this is great, we can do it. It's just a time span we have to get to as many people as possible.
And yes, there are little boxes reminiscent The statewide 1% grocery sales tax in Illinois was repealed as part of the latest state budget. But according to the Illinois Municipal League, more than half of all municipalities in the state have established a local 1% grocery sales tax to replace the one that expires January 1st. According to the Municipal League, that tax is critical revenue for local government services, and without it, many communities would face budget shortfalls. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Warm this afternoon, clouds, some sunny breaks, the high in the upper 70s, partly cloudy tonight, low 64. Very warm for tomorrow, partly sunny, high 83, and still warm on Wednesday, up to 82. I'm AccuWeather's John Feerick on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Cloudy and 70 right now. The weather sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, pennmutual.com/STL. Are you considering life insurance? Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark scores with you, and joining us now is Andrew Egger, the White House correspondent and co-author of the Morning Shots newsletter for The Bulwark. Andrew, thanks for joining us today. A lot going on.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on.
So let's start now with President Donald Trump. Obviously, the news today is that he met with the Knesset in Israel after helping to negotiate a ceasefire deal where the remaining kidnapped Israeli hostages were returned, and Israel agreed to release about 1,700 Palestinian prisoners who had been detained since the October 7th massacres. President Trump got a 2-minute standing ovation at the Knesset, and then later today, or even I guess it would be now, he has departed for Egypt to co-chair a conference of world leaders. Can you kind of let us know about your thoughts on what's going on now, the president's schedule, and the reception?
Yeah, I think the main question on everybody's mind is, will this thing hold, right? I mean, and this is, it's not to disparage the deal that's going on now in any way. It's just to say that, these ceasefires are fragile, right? I mean, it's especially right at the beginning. You've got these people who have been, going at it hammer and tongs for years. And now, there's this diplomatic freeze, and everybody is just hoping and praying it will continue to hold. That said, we have seen a lot of great steps in the right direction. Obviously, the most notable of which has been the release of these remaining Israeli hostages just this morning, which is, obviously an enormous step, an enormous aim that the Israelis have been pushing for quite some time, that the Americans have been pushing for quite some time, and a gigantic step toward what will hopefully prove to be a more durable ceasefire in this conflict than we have seen in a long time.
Yeah. So what happens outside of this? Because we know it doesn't just end with the prisoner, the hostage prisoner exchange. There will be agreements. There will be things that happen beyond this, whether it is, how Gaza is controlled after this, or what happens with a lot of the, the destructed property that is there. How does this go from here on out, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, to be clear, it remains sort of an enormous mess, right? I mean, it's going to be a very long and sort of difficult process, not just sort of like from a logistical point of view, in terms of trying to put back together this strip of land that has been just pulverized in sort of years of Israeli bombardment, while Hamas has been just sort of like, scurrying around beneath the surface, sort of integrated with the Palestinian population there. I mean, the destruction has been enormous. So just from that point of view, it's already a difficult enough logistical project. There is also the question of who runs the strip, right? And this remains very much up in the air. The Israelis and the Americans have demanded that Hamas play no future political role and disarm, pretty much unilaterally in the strip in exchange for sort of an amnesty. That remains to be seen to what extent Hamas will abide by and honor that. So like there are still these big sort of diplomatic questions that remain outstanding, that are thorny, that have been difficult, for not just the past couple of years, but the last number of decades in this region. So all of that is difficult. But what the Americans have put forward is sort of a kind of international protectorate for Gaza to basically have a group of people from different countries, representatives from different countries, supervise a rebuilding process there. Obviously, there is it is not as though this ceasefire has put to rest the national and ethnic tensions that have been operative there for a long time, and especially obviously coming out of this war still remain at sort of a fever pitch. So there's an enormous amount of stuff still to deal with, still to navigate. But all that being said, this is an absolute moment of sort of hope and comfort and victory for a lot of these people, and especially for the people who wanted to see these hostages come home. So I don't want to discount any of that just by talking about the challenges ahead. It's a really good day.
Yeah, but we have all heard the president and people close to the president, like his son-in-law, talk about waterfront property there in Gaza. So there have to be some personal implications that matter here when it comes to the president and people close to him, are there not?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like all these things, especially in the Middle East, it's all shot through with that. I mean, the ties, the business and personal business ties that we have seen between the president and his family and his associates, and a lot of the moneyed interests of different countries in the Middle East is really unprecedented. I mean, you say unprecedented. Unprecedented almost does not begin to cover the sort of like bizarre amount of money just sort of flowing back and forth. When it comes to Donald Trump's family, Donald Trump's businesses, various sort of sovereign wealth funds over there in the Arab world, and so obviously that's going to be something that there's a lot to keep an eye on when it comes to the rebuilding of Gaza, and obviously the various financial interests involved. But I do think it's fair to say some of that's a question for next week and next year and all of that stuff. Like as people are rewatching this, for now it's good to say that whatever comes next, at least sort of like it is not being further pulverized into sort of oblivion by a continued fusillade. And I think the people there are somewhat happy about that.
Yeah. And then, as you mentioned, I think it's okay to be happy and relieved that the remaining living hostages get to go home, and to celebrate the fact that they get to go home while still being very, very wary of negotiating with a terrorist organization, which you can't. Hamas doesn't want a two-state solution. They don't want peace. Hamas, it's in their charter to destroy Jews, to destroy all of Israel. And so you definitely have in the back of your mind that this is just buying time until Hamas or another organization can regroup and launch attacks. That's just what we've seen. What does this deal, and I guess we'll find out in the days to come, mean for countries like Qatar and Turkey, who basically told Hamas, listen, if you don't agree to this deal, we're not going to stop giving you political and diplomatic cover. Like, Qatar is a supporter of terrorism. They're housing these guys. They're billionaires. The leader of Hamas, they're billionaires living in Qatar while the people are suffering. So the United States, their relationship with Qatar and Turkey is what?
It's all so strange right now, right? I mean, it's there's all of the old sort of lines are sort of no longer in operation, or sort of partially in operation, or nobody really knows to what extent they're in operation. I mean, the fact that these countries are state sponsors of terror used to be kind of like the main thing when it came to U.S. negotiating with them, or sort of U.S. approaching them and sort of their standing with the world. Now that's sort of different, right? I mean, Donald Trump has a lot of ties to Qatar, a lot of ties to Turkey. I mean, he has a lot of political ties to Turkey. The ties to Qatar are like I was saying, mostly personal, like gigantic investments from Qatar's sovereign wealth fund in various sort of properties close to Trump. He and sort of the petro barons there have bonded over a shared love of sort of like, sort of out and out, politics via spending. You know what I mean? So like all of that is very strange. At the same time, there is a weird sense in which some of this has given, this White House the ability to maneuver, to sort of shake some things loose when it comes to what was previously considered sort of long-standing foreign policy, just sort of bedrock principles of how things used to go over there. You could make the argument that without this sort of thaw, without the Trump administration sort of agreeing to look past some of those things, it would be more difficult for Israel to be sort of thawing ties with some of those countries over there. You could also make the argument that we are now, because of those ties, and some hawks have made this argument, agreeing to go a little easy on Hamas and let them sort of regroup and live to terrorize another day. So again, these are really, really hard, unbelievably fraught geopolitical problems that have not been solved by anybody for decades and decades and decades. And so it's hard to throw too much aspersion at the guys in the chair right now, like, all right, solve it immediately, or you don't get our praise. You know what I mean? So that's those are some of the things we're kind of trying to chew over here. And again, like I just keep coming back to step in the right direction today.
So we know that there have been other countries that have had agreements with military agreements in the United States within within our borders, like in New Mexico. There have been a German part of, I believe, their Air Force, and maybe the same thing for Singapore in this base in Idaho. And there has been some discussion about, and I think it was on Friday morning, we learned about the agreement of the Qatari government having some sort of training facility outside that Idaho or at that Idaho Air Force base. Is that a big deal?
Is it a big deal is an interesting question, right? I mean, I think there are arguments to be made to compare it to the sorts of things we have always done, right? And then there are flip side arguments to be made that say, look, like if you're making these sorts of treaties and decisions and cooperative agreements, you are putting a certain amount of trust in a foreign nation that perhaps has not actually demonstrated that they deserve that level of trust, right? I mean, it's sort of comparable to when the Qatari government gifted Donald Trump a $400 million jet to be the new Air Force One for the time being. I mean, it's like, that's a really nice gift, guys, but but are we going to actually do the work that we need to make sure that this jet is not compromised in some way, that it is not sort of like, expertly bugged or any number of things? And are we going to pour sort of the cash reserves that are needed into that? It's sort of a similar thing when you're inviting, a foreign military presence over here to do cooperative drills and all those sorts of things. The most interesting thing about this stuff to me has been sort of the reaction on the political right. There have been some MAGA type influencers and figures, people like Laura Loomer, who have been raising a real hue and cry about this, more so than I would have expected, given that this is a Trump government initiative. I'm basically just laying out those exact thoughts. Like, why are we suddenly treating Qatar like they are sort of, close partners with whom we share a vision of the world and are sort of hand in glove in a position of mutual trust? That seems a little strange, given that all they have really done is wheel a bunch of money over to us, right? That doesn't necessarily betray like deep compatibility when it comes to sort of guiding national principles or anything like that. But obviously, as with a lot of other things, the devil's going to be in the details with this, and we'll just have to kind of wait and see.
Before we let you go, Andrew, just switching over quickly to Donald Trump, who threatened to impose an additional 100% tariff on Chinese exports to the U.S. And then he went to Truth Social and said that it's going to be fine. President Xi just had a bad moment. So where are we with the tariffs with China right now?
I mean, this is the constant problem that Trump has when he is trying to do trade negotiation with China, which is just that he is more exposed than they are to shocks in the market, and a giant overbearing trade war that grinds trade between our two countries to a halt is going to be horrible economically for us and for them, and they are more politically ready to weather that in the short term. So it's not an accident that Trump gets on Truth Social to threaten this at 4:50 p.m. on a Friday, right after Wall Street closes down for the weekend, and that's when he does his most powerful saber rattling. And then Sunday night, right before we're about to get the opening bell the next day, he kind of walks it back and he says, it's not going to be as bad as people maybe think, don't read too much into it. And so it's pretty transparently an attempt to sort of soften the blow when it comes to what our traders think, over here, not to not see further sort of panic in the stock market like we saw on Friday. But of course, the Chinese can see that too, right? And they can pick up on that as well, that Trump's sort of immediate term hand is more constrained than theirs is. And that matters when it comes to what is essentially a big game of chicken, like declaring a trade war. So it's the same problem he's had since, he first tried this out in his first term. Back then, not a whole lot ended up coming of it. He has, talked a big game about tariffs this second term, and in fact has implemented an enormous amount of new tariffs. I don't mean to discount that. I mean, the tariffs that we have seen are gigantic relative to any recent moment in history. But when it comes to this real kind of all-out total trade war with China, I would be surprised to see him stick to it along the lines of what he said on Friday.
Andrew Egger, appreciate the conversation as always. Thank you for talking with us, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Always fun.
Andrew is the White House correspondent and co-author of the Morning Shots newsletter for The Bulwark, with us on Mondays at 11 o'clock. It is the Chris and Amy Show. You know how to join us, don't you? 314-436-7900. Calls and text messages to that number. The Odyssey app, you can record a message and send it to us, and maybe we will play it on the air. It's 104.1 FM KMOX.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Attention business owners with a net income over $500,000. You need to work with a tax strategist that understands your entrepreneurial mindset. Download the most recent white paper written by E3 Consultants Group titled The Power of a Professional Tax Strategy Team. Go to e3wealth.com/radio to obtain a copy. It's time to learn about wealth and tax strategies that protect your personal and business economy. E3 is ready to help you think differently about your finances. Educate, empower, enlighten. That's the E3 difference.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer: an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your traffic. So get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Save 77% on NordVPN and get 3 extra months.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Tom Ackerman for Busey Bank and Building Community, proudly recognizing the Community Action Agency of St. Louis County. Known as CASTLE, the agency is one of a network of community action agencies coming together to transition people out of poverty towards self-sufficiency. CASTLE serves 44,000 people in St. Louis County every year. Learn more about the Community Action Agency of St. Louis County at caastlc.org. That's caastlc.org.
This is Blake Trevunza, Commercial Relationship Manager at Busey. The Community Action Agency of St. Louis County, also known as CASTLE, helps people move from crisis to stability. With housing, food, health, legal aid, education, and more, CASTLE empowers families to break the cycle of poverty. Take action yourself and find out more about CASTLE, the Community Action Agency of St. Louis County. That's what building community is all about. Join Busey. Get involved as we continue building the communities we call home.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. Selling your home, every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
KMOX is now on 104.1 FM, the same great station with even better sound.
Has come around again. All right, we've talked a lot about sports gambling. It's coming to the state of Missouri, although some forms of it, like the daily fantasy betting, is already here, and I am not an expert. But here's what I do know, that young people, especially young men, are far more susceptible to acquiring unhealthy gambling habits when they're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, that age, like 5 times more likely to have a gambling addiction than older groups of people, which makes sense. I mean, that's pretty much prime invincibility, as if you're a 20-year-old male. And so the idea of taking risks and winning big, yeah, you're not exactly being cautious when you're 20. You're not famously wise at that age. And so what's interesting, high schoolers, like seniors, college-age kids, so not 21 yet, and technically you're supposed to be 21 to be able to gamble in the state of Missouri. They have these sports apps, and they're betting on games. And again, I don't know all the details of how they're able to do it, but there was a story a couple of weeks ago, or I should say an opinion piece in USA Today from a college football player who said gambling apps are exploiting Gen Z and ruining the game. Now, again, this is a college-age kid writing an opinion app, but he was talking about being a senior in high school, which for him was last spring. When I was a senior in high school, I noticed a friend furiously tapping his phone during class. He wasn't texting with a friend. Instead, he was placing a bet of well over $100 secretly using his mom's credit card. And he said just witnessing his friends who loved sports using betting sites that all teenage boys are somehow able to access, they become a bit more isolated. They start betting more money than they have. They're starting to lie from mom and dad. I don't know how the parents can police this, obviously. The apps themselves, again, I don't know the details of how they're able to get on these apps. Obviously, this kid must have been posing as his mom with his mom's credit card. Maybe he had his mom's ID.
Yeah.
But I do think that's a concern. As gambling explodes everywhere, and it will here December 1st, we need to be very aware that young people are going to be way more susceptible.
Yeah, this is one of those areas where parents need to be involved. And if you're not involved and don't know what your kid's doing with your credit card or a credit card maybe that you've gotten that he or she can use, that's on you. You're going to have to do something about that. The sites that they are on, though, technically not sports betting. There is a legal loophole that it's considered daily fantasy. So anybody that's put a fantasy team together kind of knows the gist. Like you collect a roster of players, you go through a draft like teams do, and you draft the players you like, and then you set your lineups week to week. These are daily fantasy where you can kind of do the same thing, but you can select up to 6 players. I think something like between 2 and 6 players. I don't use these so much because I don't find them to be
daily fantasy.
The daily fantasy. And there are apps like Pick Six, or what was the one that Prize Picks.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason it is not considered sports betting, it's a legal loophole.
Yeah.
But it is not considered. It's considered a game of skill as opposed to a game of chance.
So
that is why it's not illegal right now. Now, sports betting, where you can bet on games, outcomes of games, and player props, which is different than what these like Pick Six and Prize Picks does. It's slightly different, but it is different.
It's hard for me to tell the difference.
So that's why,
how technical it is.
But the sports betting is going to be available in December here. So right now, what these kids are doing is not necessarily illegal. It's available in Missouri, and you can do it here.
So
it's daily fantasy, which is different than actual sports betting.
So this, again, this opinion piece in USA Today, he said his school, actually, they had a school counselor who would give talks with a slideshow. But again, he's like, you're talking to 17 and 18-year-olds. They don't care. They're like, whatever. He's like, our brains can't process the consequences of losing $100 or $1,000. And what he noticed is that some of his friends grew quiet. They tried to hide their losses. Others skipped school. Others had a ton of anxiety about how to tell their parents that they were in trouble with money. And his suggestion is, like, just like you teach your kids about drugs and alcohol, parents need to step in and talk about gambling, because it's a real threat and it appeals so much to young men. He said it's kind of like a drug, placing a bet and like hoping you win, or if you get that win. And so again, as if parents need another thing to worry about, check your kids' phones, go through their apps, go through their phones, make sure they're not losing hundreds, if not thousands of dollars.
That's right. That's just what you have to do.
Yeah,
that's part of being a parent. So we should pass along this little bit of news here that I am just now seeing. Mike Shildt. You know Mike Shildt, former Cardinals manager, and has been the manager of the Padres for the last 3 years, or has it been 4? Maybe it's been 3 years. He is retired.
Oh.
He is retiring as the Padres manager. He's only 57. So I don't know much about this. I am just now seeing it, but it is being reported by outlets out of San Diego. So Mike Shildt is retiring.
Seeing it on the San Diego Union Tribune.
Yeah.
I love a good Tribune.
That is very interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. So maybe there's something that's been going on there that I have not been aware of. Or maybe he just said, you know what, screw it. I'm tired of baseball. I'm out. Tired of doing this job. Maybe he's about to go do something else. But we have the Gas House Gang coming up at 12 o'clock. It'll be Tom Ackerman and me. We will certainly be talking about this. Really interesting. Former Cardinals manager Mike Shildt retiring. We'll see what he does next. It's Chris and Amy on 104.1 FM KMOX.
The Cardinals season may be over, but in St. Louis, sports never stop. The Chiefs are chasing another championship. Mizzou football is making noise, and the Blues are back on the ice. Every weekday at 5, Rush Hour Sports keeps you ahead of the game with news, traffic, weather, and the biggest stories in sports. Kevin Wheeler, Matt Pauley, and Bernie Nicholas. 3 trusted voices St. Louis fans count on. Rush Hour Sports, weekdays at 5 on KMOX.
When life happens and you need to sell your St. Louis area home, call trusted realtor Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria is St. Louis's real estate expert with more than 22 years of experience and expertise, helping you sell quickly and for the most money.
Selling your home can be so stressful, especially when life happens, like a sudden job change, a passing of a loved one, or a growing family. Knowing exactly how much your home will sell in today's market is the first step. Then I back it up with an upfront written guarantee. My guarantee is simple and easy to understand. If I can't sell your home at our agreed upon price and time frame, I'll buy it myself.
When life happens, the name to remember is Gloria Liu, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I strongly suggest you call her right now at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Currently, it is 72 degrees. A brief shower or two maybe this morning. We might be in the clear. Otherwise warm with variable cloudiness, a high of 77. Tonight, partly cloudy and a low of 59. Weather sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Furnace funky?
Then make one call.
And Jerry Kelly will be there the very next day.
Call anytime, 8 to 8, 8 days a week.
And Jerry Kelly will fix your furnace or install a new one the very next day.
JerryKelly.com. This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Changing the weather.
Fall.
Changing the weather.
Weather.
Something's happening here.
Temps turning cooler. Days getting shorter. We'll help you weather the weather with the latest forecast from 2 meteorologists and severe weather coverage when needed from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Storm Center.
Changing the weather.
The weather. We've got it covered on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. That's right, weight loss seminar at the Marriott St. Louis West in St. Louis at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Mentioned the news right before we went to break that former Cardinals manager Mike Shildt retired from baseball. Pretty sudden. It doesn't sound like the Padres were expecting that to happen, but he's been the Padres manager for the last couple of seasons and has decided he no longer wants to do that. He does have a statement that he put out, and he says and I'm just going to read a couple of parts of this just so to get an idea of where his head is. He says, with a heavy but full heart, I am announcing my retirement from managing the San Diego Padres. It's a decision I thought about during the season and became at peace with over the last 10 days since they have been out of the playoffs. And he basically says the grind of the baseball season, this is word for word actually, has taken a severe toll on me mentally, physically, and emotionally. While it has always been about serving others, it's time I take care of myself and exit on my own terms. So there's a longer statement, and he, thanks a bunch of people and so on and so forth, but did not expect that to happen.
Yeah.
It just kind of, Padres say they will immediately begin their search as they need a manager for 2026.
Okay. And I will say this, we've talked about it before. What Mike Schultz said about the toll physically, emotionally, mentally.
Yep.
That's why when someone like Albert Pujols says, I want to manage, my first thought is,
Yadier.
Yeah. Why? Ride off into the sunset, go live your life. And I get it that they're fierce competitors and they're wired differently. That's probably what it is. I would never, if I had made it in life the way they have made it, I wouldn't put myself through the stress and strain of being a major league manager. And I get it. People have really hard jobs. There are brain surgeons. There are those serving in the military. I'm not saying I feel sorry for managers. I'm just saying if you are Albert Pujols, you don't have to be a manager.
Or Yadi.
Or Yadi.
Yadi didn't make the money that Albert made, but
he's doing okay.
He did pretty well. And again, we're talking relative to other baseball players here, because if you make it in the big leagues and you stick around for a while, you're going to make good money compared to what most people. But Albert, in salary, made close to $350 million in his career.
Yadi's net worth is like $100 million or so, which I don't even know if that counts.
Right.
Endorsements. My point is not that he couldn't make more. My point is $100 million is enough to ride off into the sunset.
Skip Schumacher, on the other hand, only made about $14 million as a player, and he played many seasons. It's something like a decade. I might be not giving him enough credit, but yeah, it's right around 10 or 11 years. And he made about little over $14 million. That's so I understand. And again, that's a lot of money. And the vast majority of people are not going to see $14 million in their lifetime. But I think there is something to the fact that compared to others, you haven't made that much money, and wanting to extend your baseball career like Skip is. And he's now the manager of the Texas Rangers, has managed the Marlins and now the Rangers. I can see why Skip wants to do it. I mean, you have to love baseball. I always thought it was interesting that Don Mattingly wanted to be a manager. That's a baseball great. Like, why would you want to continue to do this? I don't know.
And as the actual manager, unlike being a coach, as a manager, you do have to deal with the media. You got to do a lot of media time.
Oh, yeah.
And, Yadi maybe wouldn't want to do that.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
Yadi might get a little combative on days when they lose.
That'd be exciting, though.
It would be interesting for us.
Excitement. Be good for us.
Of course.
The Gas House gang would be lit.
It might be. Look, if Yadier Molina was the manager and they go on a little bit of a losing streak, could you stop digging in the candy? I can hear it. What is wrong with you? She's got a bucket of candy and she's digging into it.
Well,
and
I was thinking, and you know how people click a pen?
Yeah.
I was doing that. I know. Anyway. Yeah.
What's wrong with you? So that is I don't understand why you would want to get your hand out of the candy.
It is.
Are you a child?
You know what? Finish your sentence, because we have to get on to the Armory. Which
You're always making things difficult.
You really are. But no,
and you think this is hard? Imagine being a manager of a Major League Baseball team, right? I don't know. I couldn't do it.
No, it's a lot of work. And again, Yadier Molina was very well known for being a hard worker. There before a lot of players, leaving after a lot of players did, worked very, very hard. When practice was officially over, he would still be working on stuff. But being a manager is even longer hours. And you do have to answer to media every day. So I'm not sure why you'd want to do that.
Okay, let's talk about the Armory and dispensaries, because you have a lot of problems with these people.
Okay. So and I have no problem with dispensaries.
Dispensing.
It's legal. People like to use it. They like to have gummies or smoke or whatever it is they do. I think that's great. I am likening the dispensaries, because there are way too many of them now. I am likening them to this data center that has been proposed at the Armory. The Armory was a pretty cool place when it had been renovated, a cool place to hang out. It was a good event space. there were nights where there were a ton of people in there. And it's great to have a community space where everybody can come together and hang out, watch a big game, watch a concert, just hang out at the bar, whatever. What bothers me about, and really this data center, this proposal of a data center for the Armory is similar to the dispensaries only in this sense that you are replacing, in a lot of cases, what used to be a cool hangout spot with just a dispensary where people go in, buy their stuff, and leave. I'm thinking of one example in the Central West End. There was an old bar called Tom's, and Tom's was there for a long time, right there across from the hospital. A good hangout spot, pretty good bar food. Then you've got you can watch games or whatever. And now it's a dispensary. It's just a dispensary. When you lose a place to hang out and you replace it with somewhere you go in, buy a good, and leave. Or
the Ellisville Steak and Shake. I will say this because every West County high schooler hung out at the Ellisville Steak and Shake and then went out of business, and now it's a dispensary.
Yeah, I mean, and I know this isn't the same exact thing, but Coffee Cartel. You probably heard it. It used to be a 24-hour coffee shop in the Central West End. It got replaced by a skincare store.
Yeah.
That's lame. I mean, I'm glad that there's something there, but a skincare store? Get serious with that. Now you've got this data center, which has been proposed, and a number of groups came together. I love this list of groups that came together on Sunday, basically to speak out against the proposed data center. You've got Missouri Workers Center, Missouri Coalition of the Environment, Action St. Louis, Missouri Jobs with Justice, Sierra Club St. Louis, Faith for Justice, Democratic Socialists of America St. Louis, Eco-Socialist Green Party of Eastern Missouri, Freedom Arts and Education Center. So you have all these different groups that were there talking about this data center proposal for the Armory and what a bad idea it is for the community, not just because of the environmental implications of the need for power and the need for water, and people who generally live by data centers report that their water flow goes away, or that they have problems getting power, or that costs go up for them by living in the area. But outside of that, when you have a community place where people hang out and you replace it with a data center where 5 people might work, that's stupid. Nobody wants that.
Bill McClellan with the Post-Dispatch had a story, or a piece, I should say. I think it was a year ago, maybe a little bit more than that. And he basically said, what's wrong with downtown St. Louis? Why is there so much crime? It's because nobody smokes and drinks anymore. And it was kind of tongue in cheek. Yeah. But I actually agree with it. What he was saying is there used to be gathering spots. People would meet after work or meet for a happy hour at a local bar. They'd be out on the patio, or the smokers would stand outside the different establishments, observe what's going on. And I said this then, what he's referring to, it's very real. They're cultural institutions. And a cultural institution doesn't have to be something big and fancy. It can be the bowling club. Yeah. It can be a coffee shop with a patio. It can be people's front porch, where neighbors sit out on the front porch. And we've talked despairingly about the increasing isolation of our society, driven so much by screens, by smartphones, even with kids, with gaming. But we are becoming increasingly online, where as all these quote unquote social networks bloom, we are becoming very unsocial. And to your point, the cultural institutions of gathering spots, of cool places to hang out, like a Steak and Shake, like a Coffee Cartel. Like, it can be a local business, or it can be even a chain, like a Starbucks. And they close, and people aren't hanging out. They're not sitting on the patio. They're not talking. It increasingly isolates us. And I so agree with you that whenever one place would go out of business, or they'd knock down a building, and you'd get so excited, what are they going to put there? As a kid, the worst thing was like a bank. I feel like they're always putting banks in someplace cool. Yeah. Now it's dispensaries. They're on every corner, and there is nothing special about them. People aren't gathering there. You're not hanging out there. You're losing spots to socialize and grow community. And I 100% agree with you. And like the data center, the Armory was a fun place to gather and play games and have food, have drink, watch a football game, watch a hockey game. It turns into a data center. You talk about something that could not be more soulless, cold, and unsocial than a data center.
And
So dystopian.
And we'll end up benefiting a small handful
Mhm.
of people, those who are lucky enough to get the work there, and there won't be that many of them, or those who built it and make a lot of money off it. But for everybody else, for the community, it does nothing for them. Does nothing for the city. The Armory becoming a data center does nothing for the city of St. Louis that's any good. It doesn't. There is, by the way, a town hall that the developers are holding tonight at 5:30 at the Sheet Metal Workers Union Hall, which it's pretty close to, it is in Midtown, actually. Sheet Metal Workers Union Hall, 5:30 tonight. The developers are hosting a town hall, and you can tell them what you think about it.
Yeah.
I think it's bad. I don't like when a business leaves a storefront.
Mhm.
I'm glad when something takes its place, because something taking its place is better than it just being vacant. And I'll go back to the Central West End for an example. There are a number of vacant storefronts that have been vacant for a long time. There's an Einstein Brothers Bagels right on the corner of Euclid and Laclede. So another busy corner. It's been empty for years now. And across from it was the old Wildflower brunch place, which was really popular for brunch. That's been empty for at least a couple of years. And they're both empty. I mean, that is no good. So I appreciate when something moves into those, but can't it be something cool? Something where people can actually hang out, where community can exist.
Yeah.
And a dispensary is not a place for community. You go in, you buy your stuff, and you leave. That's boring and lame.
And we need to become more human again. We need to
Yes.
humanize people, because there are so many people that I quote unquote know just from Caldi's. Like, we go to Caldi's, we're there like every Wednesday or every Saturday, and oh, hey, how are you? And I realize I don't have their contact information. I don't know their last name, but I know their dog, I know them, and we visit and we talk, and it brings the community together. And to me, it's the ultimate antidote to cable news and social media arguing and thinking that the whole world is burning down. If we had more places to gather and hang out, like a coffee shop, community places where you start to be a regular, where you're walking around on your neighborhood, more people sitting on the front porch, you would realize we're not burning down, that we're not fighting enemies every day. They're our neighbors. We can hang out. We can talk. I do think that is a huge antidote to this bizarre dystopian social media, cable network news dystopia that we've created.
So open to the public tonight, that town hall on the Armory Data Center, 5:30 today, and it's at the Sheet Metal Workers Union Hall, which is on Shoto. So it is Shoto and Jefferson. So if you're interested, it's open to the public, and that is for the Armory Data Center proposal. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. Don't forget the Gas House Gang is coming up. Busy week in sports, busy weekend in sports we just had. And Mike Schilt, former manager of the Cardinals, announces his abrupt retirement today. Tom Ackerman and me, Chris Ranji, on the Gas House Gang coming up. But until then, it's Amy and Chris on KMOX.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. A question I get all the time is, how did we become the largest injury firm in the world? We have over 1,000 lawyers in all 50 states and close to 6,000 coworkers. Our call center is on duty 24/7. You can reach us at any time at forthepeople.com. But the real reason is we won a lot. When you visit our website, go to our verdicts and settlements. There you will see what our clients were offered and what they were awarded at trial. All those verdicts help us resolve many cases fairly and early. You see, nothing beats reputation. The insurance industry knows who we are. We even have insurance adjusters call us for representation because they know too. We've made it easy. On your mobile device or computer, go to forthepeople.com and we will get busy. It's that easy. Call today. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
KMOX proudly supports the Musial Awards, returning to Stiefel Theater Saturday, November 22nd. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event, hosted right here in St. Louis. Named for Stan the Man, the show celebrates the year's greatest moments of sportsmanship and those who embody class and character. Experience the extraordinary moments and people that make the Musial Awards an event like no other. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
At California Psychics, we know that when you haven't found love, it feels like everyone else has. Every movie has a love interest. Every song is a love song. Where are all the songs about cats or the joy of early bedtimes? And of course, the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to help you find the one. We connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So, you could be feeling all lovey-dovey real soon. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Let me tell you about this new Pretzel Cheddar Club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with cherry berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hi, Stacy with Fairwinds River's Edge Senior Living in St. Charles. Are you a senior seeking a fun retirement? Do you want less work and more play? Do you want to enjoy great food that you don't have to cook? Then I know. Stop what you're doing right now and call Fairwinds. Set up a time to visit and have a meal. Meet some of our awesome residents. Check us out online at fairwindsriversedge.com. We hope to talk with you soon.
It's the most inspiring night in sports, the Musial Awards at Stiefel Theater. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event from St. Louis. Named for Stan the Man, the Musial Awards celebrate those who uplift us through their extraordinary sportsmanship. Experience the remarkable moments and people that make this an event like no other. The Musial Awards, presented by Maryville University, Saturday, November 22nd. Tickets at musialawards.com.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
Hey, Chris, Amy, I got to tell you, man, I'm with you on the dispensaries. I spent a lot of time down at Tom's Bar and Grill, brother, and I miss that place. It's good food, good people, and when they told me they sold that and they were making it into a dispensary, I couldn't believe it. Anyway, just want to tell you, yeah, I spent a lot of time down there. Anyway, you guys have a good one. Talk to you.
Well, thank you, Tim, for leaving us a voice message on the Odyssey app. You can do the same. That app is spelled AUDACY. So Tim gets it. Tim used to go to Tom's and hang out in the Central West End. Now you got to go to Good Day or whatever it's. I'm not sure which one it is.
I wrote about Tom's in my book.
You did?
Powered by Hope, the Terry Grigg story. Terry and her husband Dave would hang out at Tom's. I don't know if it was their first date or if they just used to go there all the time.
Just a great hangout spot.
I know.
And now you can't even see inside.
Everything's a dispensary. Yes, and you can't see inside.
What is with the secrecy? Dispensaries are legal. Why is it like why are we looking? Why is it a porn shop? You ever seen a porn shop? You can't look inside, can't see out.
Well,
I mean, that I get being embarrassed. You don't want anybody to know that you walked in and bought some stuff, bought some things to
especially
enjoy.
Since you don't need to buy it anymore, I guess. Are those places still in business?
I'll get back to you.
Okay.
I will get back to you on that.
At any rate, yeah, like there's two kinds of dispensaries, though. Either the windows are covered or the entire place and all the shelves are lit up. There's one, I can't think where it is on Manchester, where every level of every shelf is like a glowing red light, almost like string lights.
Yeah.
The whole place is illuminated. That's the opposite of not being able to see in. You can see too much.
That's what I like.
You like to see too much?
Yeah.
If we were speaking of porn shops, Matt and I were talking about
Porn shops.
About the emotional roller coaster.
As you usually do before the show, both
I
of you.
know. It's 7:55 in the
porn.
morning. The emotional roller coaster that it is driving west on Highway 40, Highway 70, like either heading to Colorado or heading to Columbia. Just the billboards. Like one is like, send your kid to military school, then MIZ, and then a porn store, and then Jesus, and then don't have an abortion, and then ZOU, send your kid to military school. It's an emotional. Those billboards, man.
All paid for by the same company.
What?
I
like
have
it's
noticed,
an emotional roller coaster.
Well, you guys keep talking about these billboards.
Yes.
I feel like we've had more than one billboard conversation in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I have realized that I very rarely notice billboards anymore. I'm just not.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not looking at them, I guess.
Because when we had John O'Leary on, he went to SLU. There's a John O'Leary SLU billboard on 40 heading west.
Didn't know that.
Man, I'm a sucker. Billboards work on me. I see all of them.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not texting while I'm driving or anything, so why am I not seeing them?
I don't know. You miss a lot. I don't know how you miss so much.
I don't know, but I guess I need to pay more attention to billboards.
You should drive west, and it is a ride.
Go west, my
The
friend,
whole
and notice the billboards.
The whole spectrum of life's philosophies with some Mizzou stuff thrown in.
We're going to have a whole spectrum of philosophies tomorrow morning. Starting at 9 o'clock, Chris and Amy show 9 to noon every weekday, so we will be back for that. If there's anything you missed, you can get the podcast of the show or any of the segments on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts, or ask your smart speaker to play it. Say, hey, play the Chris and Amy show, and it will do it. We'll give you the latest episode. Or play KMOX. Listen live. Have a great one. Talk to you tomorrow. But coming up next, it is the Gas House Gang. Tom Ackerman and me, Chris Ranji. A lot to discuss. Mizzou and Illinois football. We've got the NLCS and ALCS. The Blues win over the weekend. Mike Schilt retires. He announced that not that long ago. So we got a lot to discuss with you on the Gas House Gang next.